That one was spicy.
So the Warriors have to play 48 minutes.
So I see this going 7. I have it. I have the Nuggets in 7.
Ant-Man, Batman, Watchman, Lakers at 5.
Well, it's money time now.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? How you doing? What's going on in these YouTube streets? We got a special show tonight. I'm very honored that my man Ajani, the exposer from Go James Kingdom, pulled up. And look, like I said, as the title says, we are looking to have an honest conversation between the exposer and a quote unquote Zesty Jeffrey. I keep reminding people I didn't hate Jordan. I just at the end of the day, I respect Jordan. But boy, did I root for that man to lose. Did I root for Haynes boy to lose every single one? And honestly, bro, honestly, I not only did I root for him to lose, I expected him to lose. So it was really, bro. For anybody that wants to understand, I like the way Michael played. Right, I love his tenacity, his determination, and all that. But I was a Magic guy. I'm the guy that loves the guy who gets everybody else involved. When I understood what made Magic so great is when again, I didn't catch Magic until the end of his career, pretty much the last 2-3 years. So I'm watching him through highlights, and I'm watching those fast breaks he led, and possible the 3-on, like it'd be a 3-on-4. And Magic would just find that little crack between somebody's legs or right between the seam of the defense to get a guy wide open. And I was like, I won't play like that. Mike, that's nice. But I think Magic, if he had a chance, if he didn't have to retire, we don't know why he did, would have probably beat Mike. Philip Fry, the face of the 7. Yeah, we gonna get on that. That's the first subject. But I thought Mike would have beat Magic. I think Magic would have beat Mike. I think if Magic had to retire, there wouldn't have been no 6-0. You know what I'm saying? So really, I had to reluctantly give this man the GOAT in '98. And I was just one thing, we talked about this yesterday on FYF. I had to watch that game 6 again. Man, bro, we got 2 different recollections of that game, Mr. Exposer, but we're gonna get into that. Let's first talk about the final. Okay, so last night's game, OKC took a commanding 3-2 lead. As I said on Zay's podcast, and he had to take care of some things, so he had to end it early. But I said if OKC won, well, Indiana still got a shot. They go home to Indiana with a great home court advantage, and they could push it to Game 7. And as we know, anybody else who's real basketball fans who've been watching before 2010, the league didn't start in 2010, and the league did not start in 1984, and the league didn't start in 1990, and it didn't start in 1980 as well. The league has been going on, but we know that anything can happen in Game 7. And so, yeah, Pacers fans still got to look. I would, as a Knicks fan, I think we might have been the last team to go up 3-2. You might have to answer this. One of you guys might have to answer this, but I think the Knicks were the last team to go up 3-2 and ultimately lose in 7. I think so. That's 31 years ago. If y'all got an example, I was trying to think about it, and I meant to look it up. But if I go up the cup, how many Game 7s have we had? Okay, yeah. Again, I know that the Cavs are down 3-1, but I mean, to win a Game 5, pivotal Game 5, the Knicks did.
The Heat did it in 2013. Yeah, the Heat in 2013 went down 3-2.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you're right. So, okay, so they were, and that's a famous one. Jesus Christ, how did I miss that? But, generally it doesn't, but it goes to show you, hey, win that Game 6, right, Mr. Exposer? Win that Game 6 by any means necessary. We all know what happened at the end of that regulation and into that overtime.
It's a wrap for the Pacers, bro. It's a wrap for the Pacers.
You think so? I mean, precedent is something. And again, Mr. Holly, man, I got to call him out. What do you have? We wound up with 6, right? He wound up with 6 points and Three turnovers and however many assists he had. But we know again, Halliburton, when they called him the most overrated player in the league, it, I, they were on to something because again, overrated doesn't mean you suck. Overrated just means okay. You see SCA, he's on that level. You're not on that level, Halliburton. Yes, you get assist titles and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily think you could be the best player. And that's the thing, that it's because you don't bring that effort every night. Again, even somebody told me in the Celtics fan group I was trolling because it seemed like the Celtics, because they beat the Knicks, kind of adopted the Pacers of their second team. And I said, hey, hey, this is why I said he was overrated the whole time, and I'm glad I never wavered. But he said, bet the over on his points next game. And I said, you know what? That's probably a good bet because you know what I'm saying? He's a good game, bad game. Good game, bad game. And that if Halliburton wants to be that guy, even his bad games got to look like 19. Even look at Mr. Brunson. His bad game was a 21-point game. Jalen Brunson's bad game is 21 and 5. Well, you can't have a triple single in the NBA Finals, bro. What's your thoughts on Ajani?
Nah, man. Listen, man. We just got to give OKC they props, bro. They are brilliant, man. That's a great team, man. Watching last night's play-by-play, if you got a chance, you'll see that I stated that the key factors for them to win was going to be J Dubs and the SGA duo. They got to keep shining like they did in Game 4, and they shined even brighter in Game 5. Man, they're just the best team in basketball, bro. Even their coach, I don't know if you noticed it, bro. He kept switching the lineups. He kept switching the rotation every 2-3 minutes. He was bringing in somebody new. He kept rotating it. Kept Rick Carlisle like going crazy. Rick Carlisle got a technical. He couldn't handle it. It's just a brilliant team, man. We just got to give praise to these two boys, and they about to run this league for a little bit, man. They are, you know what I'm saying, barring any injuries and stuff like that, especially without Jason Tatum coming back next year. So what other duo should you really fear besides Jalen Williams and SGA, bro? Like, those dudes are serious, man. Like, that kid put up 40 last night, and he did it on everything. Threes, dunking, layups.
Oh, 40
mid-range.
burger. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, he was all over the place. And then SGA doing what SGA do, man, it's just really nice to see a like I said, a 68 win team like shine like this. Like, they really shine.
No doubt.
Yeah, they really stamping themselves, separating themselves from all the other teams that we saw winning champions. As great as Denver Nuggets was, I don't think nobody thinks they're going to be one of the greatest teams of all time. The 22 Warriors, the same thing. The Bucks, people are already discrediting Giannis now already. And obviously with the Boston Celtics going to have this skip year where they still might be a good team in the East and still make the playoff run, but they don't have Jason Tatum. So, yeah, this team could be the team of the decade right here. This SGA, J-Dub, OKC Thunder team.
And no doubt. And they'll definitely be there in the mix. No doubt. Okay, so now Shams is actually, wow, it's breaking news. Again, I got because GoCast just I got this up on the screen. Hallie so Shams is broken on X. Just hit my screen. And Hallie's out for the rest of the season. So now it looks like they're gonna be going to I believe when Hallie's out, they go to Nemhard to start at point guard. They move in one. So I think they move in one of the guards. Well, Hallie's out. I guess the hamstring is now bothering him. I thought when GoCast put this up there, I thought, I've been on the road all day, and I've been up since the morning, and I had to wait an hour on the tarmac because they overbooked the flight. So I flew down here to Orlando, and I've been enjoying time with the family and the pool and all that. Then I came in and get ready for the show. But breaking news: Hallie is out for the rest of the series. It's the hamstring, right?
No, calf. It's a calf.
Yeah, it's right calf.
Oh, the calf. Okay.
Calf, which is more concerning, to be honest with you. You don't want
lower leg injury, especially.
Yeah, and he had an ankle injury earlier in the series, so you already know it's just a trickle effect.
So it's got to be, and again, I'm normally one of these, if you can walk, you can play guy, especially at this part of the game. But, you get yourself, they never, yeah, shout out to All Ball Fabian. He's in the comments. Yeah, it just broke on X. Let me see. Let me pull it up real quick. Tyrese Halliburton is believed to suffer a strained, and that's all I can see without coming strained right calf and will undergo an MRI. Okay, so the M, I guess.
You sure that's not? You sure that's not NBA Sentinel instead of NBA?
Oh, let me make sure it's the official shams.
Yeah. Oh, it's
It's
it's,
the
oh, it's
official
from
shams.
Shams. Oh, it's from Shams. Okay, yeah. Because I don't see nothing from
Yeah,
my.
yeah. Just hit my screen on X's and just, we were running. So it said they're gonna do an MRI, and okay. So when again? Look how I'm out of it. When is the game? Game 6 is tomorrow, or is it on Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay. So either way, I'll be here to watch it in the house. It's a beautiful house. My cousin ran it, bro. So we got a little family reunion going on, man. All the cousins, all the little kids, and this, that, and the third, up in here. You know what I'm saying?
It's
You
hot.
go smoke some
It's a hot summer too. It's
house.
hot.
Oh boy, you down here in South. I'm in Central Florida. You in South Florida. Boy, I got off the plane. That heat, boy. As soon as we step out the damn.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we step out the what's the name? The heat was killing me, killing a brother. But it's air conditioning here, so the pool be nice, and so we good. We might check out my son just got into Mickey Mouse, so you're gonna get to see Mickey Mouse over there. And
All
but
right.
yeah, the humidity, the whole nine, man. Florida, bro. Y'all see how y'all do it. I mean, it's my first time in Florida in June. I've been in Florida like at least 6, 7 times. It's my first time this late into actually by the time we leave, summer will start. But yeah, man. So okay, it looks like I mean, so I guess he's questionable. I don't know if Shams is not saying he's out. They said they're gonna
Yeah,
do an MRI to question to see the severity, and I'm gonna see if
It
they're
ain't
gonna
gonna
see
work.
if he's gonna pull a Willis Reed or something. You know what
It
I
ain't,
mean?
it ain't gonna work, bro. It ain't gonna work.
You think it's a wrap? They blew their shot. They
I
blew
want to
their
know.
shot.
I want to know what happened to Miles Turner. What happened to him? They like they basically benched him. I don't know what happened to him.
Mm.
So
Philip Fry with the I can't trust nobody named Shad.
oh
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
Philip Fry's already in here making Zesty Jeffrey comments. I already.
oh,
Hey man, look. We gonna play nice tonight. Nah, so look.
Oh, I don't. You know, I don't play nice when it comes to
Yeah,
basketball. You know that. You got to
yeah,
talk.
I get it. I get it. And we gonna talk. We gonna. Miles Turner is Miles Turner. I mean, Miles Turner is Tina Turner.
that's
Sometimes.
true. That's
Shout out
right.
to the late grade. Here's the problem. Like Tina Turner has some great legs. Some of these guys ain't got no great legs. Look. I'm not one of these old heads. Let's get into that part because I'm not one of these old heads.
You are one of
We
these.
all saw the episodes of Cosby Show, right? We all saw the episodes of Cosby Show with Keith Cliff with Charles Theo. Back in my day, I went to school. We had no snow days, but we went to school with one shoe on and we hopped through, you know what I'm saying? And then the grandfather, the guy that played Mr. Lion, played Panthro voice from Thundercat, what's his name? Earl Hyman. He had that voice, bro. He would come in and like, oh, you ain't having that. We all listen. A lot of us old heads on the back in my day type thing, right? So we're not trying to act like everybody was Iron Man, tough, this, that, and the third. But bro, I mean, a lot of these injuries, man. Again, and I get it. I get it. It's a different day. A lot. I'm really trying. I'm really trying to because I don't like to criticize. If you're hurt, you're hurt. And again, you do got your rest of your career to go at. I'll say this because Kenya Martin brought this up on Gil's Arena, right? The Cavs and the culture of the Cavs. What happened in Game 2 is we know that they reported that it was Hunter and not Hunter. What's the guy they got from Atlanta? Can't think of his name. The wing they got from Atlanta in the trade.
Yeah,
And
DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter, and God damn it, Evan Mobley did not suit up for Game 2, and he was like, "Bro, could you at least suit up? Go through the warm ups. You ain't got it. You ain't got it." And it seemed like what it said is the report was they didn't suit up, and it kind of put a fracture in the locker room. And as we know, that 64 win season went up in flames, losing in 5 in the second round to these very Pacers, right? Um, it's I will say, man, it is something to kind of again, I don't want to criticize it. Again, you never know the severity of injuries, and I think that's a fine line to walk. But bro, this is the NBA Finals. You know what I'm saying? This is the NBA Finals. Yeah, how many? Reggie Miller never got enough. Reggie Miller waited 13 years to get a chance, and then '04 happened, and the Malice in the Palace on his way out the door. That was his next biggest chance, and the Malice in the Palace took two of the big warriors off his team. That was his. They thought in '04 that the Pacers could it was the Pacers and the Pistons. That's why that was so significant. Those are the two front runners they felt in the East that year. You know what I'm saying? So you're not guaranteed to get back. You're not guaranteed. OKC is built for the long haul. So are the Pacers. Again, these two teams are deep, deep. They come at you with waves of scorers and waves of attackers, and OKC waves of defenders, guys that can all hit the three. That's the modern NBA. And while again I have my criticism on the modern NBA and some of the strategies, I just have my appreciation. Me and Ajani go back and forth about the idea of shooting too many threes versus a nice mixture of threes, mid range, and attacking the basket. And I think you have that. I think that the Knicks this year proved that computerized, take the three. And when in doubt, take the three. The Knicks beat that. I think it was important to stop Boston from repeating, regardless of, and obviously we didn't want what happened to Tatum to happen. But we didn't want to see a team, the first team in NBA history, to take more threes than twos win a championship, because we felt like, and even now, we still probably think there are probably 2 or 3 teams next year to take more threes than twos. And it's got to have in my opinion, you got to have a good mix. You got to be 3-level scorers. We understand that the mid range will never be what it was back in the '90s and back in the '80s, where it was all mirrored. All jump shots were mid range, pretty much. It's like 90% of jump shots were mid range. 3-pointers were used, and I like to tell Johnny this too. 3-pointers were used in special situations, like if you needed a 3 at the end of the game. I mean, a lot of these again, when people look at Jordan's 3-point percentage, they don't seem to understand it. A lot of that was at the end of the quarter, he's 6 or 7 feet, so he puts that up. That counts. That may be the only 3 he takes for a week. And then he takes 2 more, and he might have to take a couple at the end of the game. So they were not the same type of 3-point shots. And I'll maintain that to anybody that speaks on 80s basketball. And, look, there was 4 seasons where Larry Bird shot under 33%. It wasn't because he couldn't shoot. We all know Larry Bird was born shooting long range. Larry Bird was born shooting all over the court. It's because when he finally did use the 3, it was in, it was either a heave at the end of a quarter or a shot clock or whatever. And when you average it out, he wasn't going to shoot enough threes to get over that 33% mark. When threes became a little bit more accepted, because again, I say this a lot of the coaches thought that the 3-point line was a gimmick from the ABA. So a lot of the NBA coaches were like, well, no, we're not going to make a strategy around shooting outside. I don't care how many outside guys that I can have shoot. Now, again, these shooters today, okay, some of them ain't got no business shooting no goddamn threes. Like, but actually, it does make sense to have it in your arsenal. I feel it also makes sense to be able to get a midi, if you need it. Again, Jason Tatum, he took a double step back to the side at the end of game 2, and it got blocked. I seen Obi Toppin. Somebody took a double step back on OKC, and Obi Toppin expertly stepped forward, met the guy at the apex, and blocked it. So look, this strat again. Whatever advantage that the offense got, there's defenses to it. You know what I'm saying? And I think the Knicks expertly knocked off the Boston Celtics in their 3, when in doubt, shoot the 3 style. And again, the beauty of basketball, man, it's not one way to skin a cat. Look what happened to Ajani in game 4.
Versus
OKC had 11 assists.
In the finals.
11 assists in the final, and they made three pointers for the game, 3 for 17.
They also
So
had Scott Foster. They also had Scott Foster.
yeah, Scott Foster. But you know what? Look, that most games, if a team gets 11 assists and three pointers in today's NBA, they're gonna lose, right? They're probably gonna lose that game by if you just told me those two facts in today's NBA, those teams gonna lose by like 30 points. So the other team is gonna make, and again, the Pacers didn't shoot great from three, and they scored 17 fourth quarter points. Again, you got to score in the fourth quarter. You understand what I'm saying? Fourth quarter is the most important quarter. Obviously, every bucket you score, but the fourth quarter, if you don't bring up, you can lose a 20-point lead in the fourth quarter, as we've seen. You can you can go from down to 20. You can be tired and blow it away in the fourth quarter. So the fourth quarter is always going to be the most important quarter in the NBA, right? A lot of people say we watch the game for the last 6 minutes. That's why we call it crunch time. It's that a third. Some guys are great in crunch time. Sometimes guys are not. Shaq, well, you can count on the last 6 minutes. You could count on his free throws, oddly though, in the last 6 minutes. So when they tried to use Hack-a-Shaq in the last 6 minutes, all of a sudden he became a 70% free throw shooter a lot of the time. But but yeah, I mean, the point I'm making about that OKC thing is, yes, that was probably an anomaly. You probably won't see that happen too many times next year, right? A team that makes less than 5 threes and less than 15 assists probably going to lose 70% of the time, 80% of the time. But it just shows you there's more than one way to skin a cat. Because yeah, if your defense tighten up, you can make up for it. You know what I'm saying? If you miss a lot of shots, offensive rebounds, and shout out to my boy man Mitchell Robinson, who I was looking at the stats today. He's still leading the playoffs in offensive rebounding. He's doing it by a lot. He has 67 offensive rebounds, and he was a part-time player for most of the playoffs. Shout out to my man Mr. Robinson, because offensive rebounds, they're very important. You know what I mean? But no doubt, FYI, Sports Bay, what's going on, man?
Shout out to Lamont.
Shout out to Lamar, man. We over here talking basketball. We over here talking hoops, man. That's what we do. But yeah, Robinson just can't stay healthy. I'm crossing my fingers. First of all, crossing my fingers, Woodage, that we keep him, that we don't trade him, because Brody's making 13 million, and I'm crossing my fingers that he plays minimum 70 games next year, because I really think old boy could be up for Defensive Player of the Year award. Definitely all NBA defense. He could be up for a deep boy if he stays healthy. Yeah, I've seen that man guard 5 Celtics all on the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? On the same play. So, shut up. But yeah. Any thoughts on what I just said about? Because I know me and you go back and forth about it a lot. I appreciate a team with a varied attack, because there's going to be times in the game where, you know what, we need a mini here. We don't need a 3. Take a 2. Get a 2. Get to the basket. They go cut it off. Yeah.
No, Ro. First off, you want to find the open shot, because you got people guarding you. You got guys defending you. So first of all, you want to find the open shot. The easiest shot you want to get is obviously the one at the rim, the layup. You want to get a dunk. Those are the easiest shots. But it's hard to get there. It's hard to get to that point. It's hard to get the ball there. So you definitely have to have a good strategy. You definitely have to have a good game plan and philosophy. And you have to have good actions and sets that make teams, have to decide on what to guard. Are they going to let you get the layup, or are they going to let you get an open 3-pointer? That's how teams play in today's NBA, because it forces the defense to have to do one or two things: give up the layup or give up the 3-pointer. And the sad part is that you got a lot of guys shooting 3-pointers, but if they're open, it's better than any other shot that's contested. So that's the point. If you find them wide open threes, you got to shoot them. You got to make them. That's just it. You got to make them. That's just like a free throw. You got to make your free throws. If you got open 3-pointers, you need to make them. Same way you got to make an open layup if you're in transition. Nobody's going to give you no excuse for missing that. It's the same thing for a 3-pointer. But teams find ways to get 3-pointers because, again, that's the best way to create the shot at the rim. Because now the defense is 25 feet away from the rim. They're 30 feet away from the rim. There's nothing but driving lanes and passing lanes now for us to do all types of actions. run all types of screens, all type of stagger screens, pin down screen, flare screens, all type of stuff that you can run down because there's space. That's why you need the 3-point shooting. Again, it was effective. Yeah, that's just the facts, brother.
Yeah, see, there's no doubt. And again, I'm talking about at the point where obviously, right? So it's a 3-and-D league. It's 3-and-D at all levels. Like let's keep it a stat. It's 3-and-D at all levels of basketball, from college, high school, that's what they teach. And again, yeah, AAU, yeah, Miss, CW is an AAU dad, right?
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I just gotta agree with Johnny on that because my son's team, I've seen it so many times. They'll be up, and then a team that can shoot the three will just that lead will melt in seconds and minutes, and it's because his team doesn't have the 3-point shot on their team. They can, he can kill them inside, but the 3-point shot is a shot that is absolutely necessary now because, as I said, teams can just melt your they can get out of a deficit in seconds, just about. So
no doubt,
it's very important.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah, see, and again, I'm not trying to abolish the 3-point. I'm not trying to abolish even the strategy, but it's the when in doubt, shoot the 3 strategy. Because it's going to be a time, like if I'm up 1, I'm not drawing up okay, I'm going to draw up a play. I'm going to still draw the play up. But then it's time, okay, we already know you're going to run this action. See, with 3-and-D offenses comes defenses meant to stop the 3-and-D. Meaning, we're gonna I just stared down the Celtics, and everybody told us the Knicks can't beat them. Everybody, and I made my prediction. I stood on business. I said Knicks is 6. Yeah, FYF said I didn't, but I did. It's on film. It's like I did my prediction. I went on Casino for life. I said Knicks is 6. Everybody said I said Knicks is 6, and then I said why? Because I said, you know what? Even though we got our ass beat in regular season, in the playoffs now, we got Mitch back. We are going to, number one, chase them off the 3. And again, they said the Celtics got all them open 3s that they bred. Okay, yeah, there was a few. They weren't as many wide open 3s as reported. Again, wide open means you're wide open and you got like at least 3 seconds to just look at the leather and just line it up and shoot. Uncontested means, okay, your shot is still open, but there's somebody closing out on you. And that closeout will, when you close out on a guy, you're going to make him, you're not going to make him because he don't want you to get in his space. You're going to, he's going to speed it up a little bit. We all know 3-point shooters about getting there. Your arm angle, your timing, all that, this, that, and the third. Again, great Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters of all time, said, I start off in the mid-range, I work my way out. I almost never took a 3-pointer as the first shot. And if I am taking a 3, I'm mostly taking it for offensive rebound. That's the greatest time. The best time in the world to take a 3 is off an offensive rebound. Right? As Ray Allen said, the best time in the world to take a 3 is off an offensive rebound because the defense is not set up. So when the defense is set up, hey, we're not giving up this 3. It's a no 3s defense. I play at Westport. We play 2s and 1. The game. Game 12 when it's like 18 nexus, when it's like 18 niggas on the next list, it's 2s and 1. So 6 shots can win the goddamn game. Get out of here. Next 5, dummy. You understand what I'm saying? And the first thing I say is no 3s. We're not giving up 3s. You gotta hit the brother on the arm. We're not giving up 3s because 6 shots can send you in. You back on that next list, bro. You understand what I'm saying? So again, play the no 3s defense. My thing is, the best scorers in the world today have mid-range games. And they also can shoot the 3. Again, all of it is important because I think you need to be able to use the entire floor. Again, I agree with you on this, Ajani. The mid-range, especially a long one, is the most inefficient shot. It's a shot that doesn't pay off, right? The most. Again.
But players use it. Players use the mid range, especially if you're a good creator. You got to use all aspects of the game, and
exactly.
So it's not like they don't use it. But again, as far as how the game is played today, the idea of some dudes just taking a bunch of 17, 18-foot jumpers for the sake of taking them is not what they do.
No
and
doubt.
again, Philip Fry's here in the comments talking about analytics. If analytics wasn't invented, Tyler Hero wouldn't be in the leagues. I mean, silly stuff like this. Again, if analytics wasn't invented, you wouldn't have Michael Jordan as the GOAT, because there's nothing that says Michael Jordan's the GOAT with regular stats. So here, again, the analytics does not tell you to not rebound. The analytics does not tell you to turn over the ball. The analytics do not tell you, like, there's a lot about analytics that's just not about shooting. It's just the shooting aspect of analytics that says, hey, you want to shoot closer to the rim or a corner three more than anything. But you also want to not turn over the ball. You also want to make sure you crash the glass. All that's in the analytics as well. So the analytics is not just the shots. That's why I say there's Zesty, Jeffries that have to be checked, because there's too many people out here can't talk basketball. With the analytics, it's real, brother. Listen, the analytics is not just taking a shot. See, when you're a Zesty Jeffrey, it's all about taking shots. It's all about scoring. That's all they care about. So they don't even take the time out to understand the analytics enough to understand that it's bigger than just shooting the basketball. You also can't turn over the ball. You also can't not rebound. If you're giving, like you said, you're giving up offensive rebound after offensive rebound. Or let's just say, my bad, if you're giving up defensive rebound after defensive rebound, then what does it matter what offense you're running? That they have the ball every time you miss, and they're going the other way. So obviously, offensive rebound is important. If you're turning over the ball, where does it matter where you're shooting it from? If you don't even have the ball, you just turned it over. So the analytics explains all of this. The analytics just gives you a better way to understand how to win the game of basketball, which is why we have great winning teams playing basketball today. Real strategy.
Great. Then here's the flip side, right? Analytics is also, because I agree with you again. We agree on a lot of shit, bro. I mean, even though I disagree with a lot of your takes, especially some of the main takes, we agree on a lot of shit. What I gotta push back on is the analytics. One thing analytics can't do, and I think people think they can do, and Joe Mazzulla was one of the. Again, I'm gonna take pride in beating the Celtics, knocking the Celtics run, stopping the Celtics run this year. But analytics can't script the game, as you said. Offensive rebounds, you give up offensive rebounds, those are playing out the door. But you know what analytics did? Okay, well, a lot of these big men that shoot threes, they're poor rebounders. The best big man in the world today can rebound and shoot the three. It's almost an anomaly. And back in the day, right, those few big men, the Brad Lowhouses, the few big men, they were considered softy, but they were used. Steve Novak, 6'10", right, couldn't get a rebound to save his life. Shout out to Discount Double Check, but he was a hell of a shooter. And this is not even going back that far. It's going back to the Melo era Knicks, right?
But all that changed because I remember Mike Bibby said it too. Mike Bibby said that when he used to play, if he went and grabbed a rebound, the big men used to get upset because that's how they used to get paid. Like, this is my job to rebound. Don't take my rebound from me, right?
Which I think is dumb. I think rebounding is a five-man thing,
That's what it was back then because everybody had a role. Everybody had a specific role to do something on the basketball court. You a point guard, get out of here. This is not your, when I grab it, I'll give it to you. Then you can run. But of course, all of that changes when you're trying to win. You got to remember, coaches, GMs, trainers, all these people have jobs, bro. You don't want to lose your jobs because you're not winning. So you're gonna always think of ways of winning the game of basketball. So if you got a Josh Hart, you're gonna tell Josh Hart don't go get 12 boards? No. Josh Hart, now you're gonna supplement Josh Hart. Now you don't need a big man like that because now you got Josh Hart. No, I'm just saying he's getting you boards, right? He's getting you again. Today's NBA, you still need one big man. But again, you don't need a big man for rebounding if you have guys like Josh Hart running around.
Yeah. And I think, look, big men is, and I get it, right? I gotta get my 13 rebound. That's where I'm getting my contract from. Lose the talk, bro. That's what I say this. I gotta get 13 rebounds, bro. But how many times are you not boxing out? Yeah, a lot of these guys, here's the thing I have a problem with the big men. They don't box out. Why are you letting 6'1"? First of all, why are you letting 6'1" guard? Look, Fat Lever was a great rebounding guard back in the day for Denver. Shout out to Fat Lever, Lafayette. This is. I'll get into this a little bit later, but Fat Lever was like almost a little Russell Westbrook before Russell Westbrook, where he would jump in, and again he was Mr. Triple, Mr. Triple Double before Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, a great rebound. Rebounding is a team responsibility, and we First of all, if you're not getting your 8 if you're not getting 13 on a defensive end, well, go get 5 offensive rebounds. Go, especially with these motherfuckers that don't box out no more. Go. That's why I love Mitchell Robinson. That's why I love my man Mitchie No Snitchy. Mitchell Robinson. Go there and get 7 offensive. They ain't lobbing you the ball. Get 7 offensive rebounds. Put a couple of them back, bro. Moses Malone was the chip. For those who think Rodman was the greatest rebounder of all time. This is another. See, this is Zesty Jeffrey tape that I will say. Man, if Rodman had to go up against the chairman of the boards, Moses Malone, he wouldn't have had it. I mean, they put the rebounders Mount Rushmore, and they was like, "Where's Rodman?" Well, Rodman is 8th on the all-time list. Actually, no, he done dropped to 11 and rebounds per game, and because I think Drummond and a couple of these others, like Drummond and Dwight Howard, knocked him down the list. And he's 23rd or 24th all time in total rebounds. I mean, it's something crazy like that. Robin didn't even average not 10 in the playoff.
But King Speaks Row, you say all of this, but if you go to NBA.com, they'll show you exactly how much players box out. There's an actual stat, and they track it, how many times a player box out. They've been doing it now since 2018, though, so you don't have it in the history of the game. But if we just go to the guys who boxed out the most right now, like I'm looking at it right now, Bam Adebayo has the most box out in today's NBA. Your boy is second in NBA in box outs. That's called.
Quiet down. Again, you're talking about the elite of the DD. You're talking about the best defensive rebounders in the game, probably up there. There's a reason.
No, but I'm just saying, but that's what I'm saying. So guys are still boxing out. Guys have to box out, but again, guys are getting boards because guys want to win. Again, the number one key factor, I had this argument on PC the other day when they were trying to tell me points are more valuable than rebounds. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Wilt Chamberlain, the late great Wilt Chamberlain stated it best. If you're trying to score, you need the basketball. You cannot have the ball without grabbing the boards. So there's guys on the boards trying to get rebounds, trying to get offensive rebounds, trying to get defensive rebounds, trying to get the ball because they know they have to win a ball game. Guys really want to win. These guys have competitive nature. They want to be rich. They want to make money. But trust me, there's guys out here who are balling, and you see it on your team. You got a whole team.
No doubt. Look, we were the best rebounding team. We were the best rebounding team last year. Out of my opinion, pound for pound, we were. And when we lost Isaiah Hartenstein, again, this is one of the. Once he went back to playing Isaiah Hartenstein, because again, you got to get rebounding advantage. Look, Miles Turner, for whatever reason, was one of these. He can block every shot, but don't get you 6 rebounds a game. I got to look at Miles Turner's career high in rebound, and I don't think he averaged 8 rebounds a game at any point in his career. Again, he's one of these guys who is super tall, super free, and he don't get rebounds for whatever reason. Again, sometimes you don't get even Mark Gasol didn't get rebounds because when he was playing with Zach Randolph got all the rebounds. Mark Gasol was one of them good box out guys. There's all types of things that are real. Me personally, again, you won the Boys and Girls Club best rebounder. Well, I was best rebounder in junior net.
That's right. 96 champions. 96 champions. Don't forget that. We were champs too. Yeah.
It was a 96 when I made. 96 when I won mine too, bro.
Yeah, I was Dennis Rodman on my team, best rebounder. That's what I was. But look,
look. The star of my team wasn't passing the ball, but I damn sure stayed involved getting the goddamn rebound. But goddamn won the championship.
You had a Zesty Jeffrey on your team. You wouldn't pass the ball to nobody. He thought he was Kobe.
Listen. You're right. Look. I hated guys that play like Jordan. I hated guys that play like Iverson.
Right. But guess I agree.
But they did pass. But they did pass more than you think. Okay. They did pass more than you think, and I get it. Again, I play like magic. I want to get everybody involved. I tell you, bro, where you want to catch the rock? That's what Magic will tell you. Where you want to catch the rock? Cut. If you get one step on your man cutting to the basket, I got you. You got a bucket. That's how I play. I'm like, bro, how many times in the 3-on-3s and the 4-on-4s and how many times I touch the ball, we score? It ain't me scoring. I don't have to score a bucket. I don't give a fuck about scoring. I get 7 rebounds. I get 5 assists. I'm happy. We won. All I want is a W. You know why? Because I go down there to play rec. I don't play no leagues. I'm too old for that shit. But when I do, I go to get some rec. Well, how do you get your rec? Win. you win 6, 7 in a row. You got your workout.
Gotta,
You know what I'm saying?
you
We
have to.
lose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we lose. I got to sit and wait for next. I got to fucking. Oh yeah, how you doing, baby?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
look again. They all in the comments saying a bunch of wild stuff. Again, I'm looking at the box out numbers here. The top box out team in today's NBA is the Houston Rockets. Then it's the Warriors, the Knicks, the Thunder, the Hornets, Boston, Detroit, Miami, the Grizzlies, the Cavaliers to round off the top 10. These are all solid rebounding teams in today's NBA. They got solid rebounders on their teams as well. I mean,
There's always gonna be teams that stand out. There's always gonna be teams that afford something. There's always gonna be teams. Look, Orlando. I'm in Orlando, right? This is a team that was gritty defensively. I gave a lot of respect to Orlando because they went through some hella injuries. Obviously, I said this. I said that if I honestly think they could have pushed the Celtics to 7 games, they had subs. But again, they shot threes at the worst clip. But they found out way to keep competitive, right? And again, they gave Boston a feisty series. Obviously, they were undermanned. They were too undermanned to really win that series. But again, do what I say this on a basketball court. Do what you do best. Fabian said, you named the playoff team. You named the best team. So those teams that want to get good at what you're deficient at. Now, look, what did Orlando do? What did Orlando do? I need to really check in with my cats down here. How y'all feel about this Desmond Bain trade? Because Desmond Bain kind of filled the need. Now I get they had to give up a haul to get him, but Orlando said, "All right, we know what we do well. Now we need to get this three. We need to get an efficient 3-point shooter. Desmond Bain is Mr. No Motion, waste no motion. I like Desmond Bain's game. He reminds me of a Ricky Pierce, like a solid scorer, a solid 3-level scorer, waste no motion. Like that one thing. Okay, we're gonna get into the LeBron talk and the bag talk and all that a little bit. One thing what LeBron was describing, he was describing a guy like Desmond Bain. Because Desmond Bain just gets to his spot. He don't over dribble. He got short arms for whatever reason, you know. But he's elite at what he do because he's that type of a clean, great 3-level scorer. I like Desmond Bain, and I think that was a great move for Orlando. Even though for the future they gave up a lot of picks, but if they're gonna try to do something next year and get in that top 3, getting Desmond Bain was great, crazy. And I saw you say somebody, how can y'all make? How the league is allowed it when you can make trades? Teams can make trades while the finals is still going on, which is me. Like OKC and Indiana can make no trades, but the other teams can. It's kind of crazy, and I kind of agree with that. With you on that, Johnny. But Orlando did address a need, and again, it's one team that was deficient at 3. They were the worst 3-point shooting team. So they put up a scorer who can address what they need on the team.
No, I think it was a good trade for both teams, to be honest with you, because I think
Yeah.
Memphis is trying to reshuffle things, and they trying to figure out some things. So
Get assets. Yep. Get assets. Young players.
Doesn't hurt. See what the market's like for JJ.
Triple J, and then eventually Ja, right?
Yeah, and even with Ja, because they got some good kids in Jaden Wells and Gigi Jackson, right? You get some you got some good draft picks coming your way, and hey, it is what it is. You tried with this team. John Morant is obviously is not the franchise player you want. Why hold on to him? See what you can get for him. So, but then as far as Orlando goes, yeah, adding Bain to their team for the sake of getting rid of KCP, why not? Yeah, let's do this. Bring him over here. They add another 3-point shooter to their team, a good guy who can play on the defensive side. They're already a solid defensive team. They don't lose. I mean, I guess they lose a little bit of defense with KCP, but yeah, they still good though. KCP is on the tail end of his career. He's just enjoying life. He done won 2 championships. He's chilling. So yeah, it's good.
He knows he'll be valuable wherever he is. KCP, wherever he goes, he'll be valuable.
Yes, he has portability. I learned that word the other day. Portability.
Yeah, hey, listen, you need. Look, I say. What did I say? What did Kingsby say, guys? Every team needs a T.J. McConnell. Every team needs 2 Josh Harts, and every team needs a KCP. These are the guys that you can win. You can't win championships around, but you need somebody like that on that team if you want to try to win championships. You need that scrappy guy like a TJ McConnell. You need, and Helly, I'm gonna have to get to your. I'm
They
gonna have to
got
get
that,
to
but
your.
that's what I'm saying. OKC got that scrappy guy, and what's his name? And Hartenstein
They
and
got a team
Caruso.
full of, they got a
Yeah.
team full of scrappy guys.
Hey, look,
Wiggins,
hey,
Gordon.
look, bro, you gotta check the comments, bro. You gotta check the comments today.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we gonna
Hold on.
get on this one.
Hey,
We gonna get on another. Yeah.
Hold on, I just want to address it before it goes away right quick. Fabian put down that the ring culture comes from Jordan stands, right? And Lamont responds as FYF.
Bro, you just getting to look. You gonna be surprised because I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, but guess what? I'm gonna get both fan bases. Because you know what? Look, it started with Jordan. It started with the Zesty Jeffries. This is one thing I will give you credit on. It started. Look. We didn't do this. See, it didn't start with Jordan. It started with the Jordan stands. It started with the guys that. See, I think the problem is Jordan kind of made it look easy when it wasn't. So I was just looking at a newspaper clipping. You remember how you lived in New York long enough to probably remember the Daily News and stuff like that. I'm sure they did it down in Miami too, where you would pick the paper up and they would preview the series and they would have the little graphic and they would go power forward, the two forwards, the center, the guards, the bench, and the coaching. And they would put check marks. Before a playoff series, they would put check marks, right? The Lakers had 5 of the 2 checks. They gave the coaching and the guard. They gave Michael Jordan over Magic. They actually gave, I was surprised they gave Worthy over Scottie Pippen, which goes to show you. The Worthy was a finals MVP and 3-time champion by the time they play that series. And Scottie was just actually a one-time All-Star. So now, in hindsight, I understand why they gave Worthy the check. But they didn't know what Scottie Pippen was at the time. And, obviously, Scottie and Mike, along with, again, the injuries were later on in the series. But Jordan averaged 11 assists a game. And, again, I rooted for the Celtics. I rooted for the Lakers, I think that the point I'm getting at is, I think Jordan and his tenacity, again, because this is one thing we're going to disagree. Jordan was so goddamn tenacious, bro. Jordan was so fucking tenacious. Barkley was better than any power forward I ever seen in '93. Barkley, that was peak Barkley. And then he had KJ. He had Tom Chambers coming off the bench. There's one thing y'all kind of, this is the thing I'm going to get at. Y'all underrate the 90s so much. These teams were great. They were great teams. Even if they weren't stacked with Hall of Famers and shit like that, even though they wasn't stacked with scorers, they were a lot of great teams. The great teams were great. The bad teams were bad. The middle teams were middling teams. But the great teams were the great teams. The West was always a slugfest to get out of that West. It was a slugfest. Because Barkley got it in 93. Drexler got it in 92 and 90. The Lakers obviously ruled. They got it in 91. They ruled, and once Magic had retired, that was the end of it. But they ruled the 80s. Something that they were waiting for the Lakers to fall off. So where Keem had his 2 years, and then the Sonics got up over 1 year. Then when the Sonics lost in '94, they were the 1 seed. They thought that might have been their year, but they ran into. It was always a slugfest, man. Because even the 8 seed teams could like the Nuggets became the first 8 to be the 1. Remember, they only went 8 playoffs the year before Jordan got drafted. They won 8 seeds in each conference. Before that was 6. You would play that half a series at the first round, and then actually the conference semifinals would start from there. But they became the first 8 seed to be the 1. But then the Sonics got their run in '96. It was always a barn burner, man. I'm telling you, man. These teams were not. They were not. Again, I know the Sonics started Irvin Johnson. Well, Irvin Johnson was a bruiser. Again, when I say Frank Rakowski, that's one thing I think I need to address. I need to address that. I need to really address that. Because y'all, every time I pull up over there,
we always gonna throw Frank Rakowski.
But I want you to, but hold on, bro. I want you to understand where it comes from,
brother.
I want you to understand where this comes from, bro. As I told you, I was a basketball fucking nerd, man. I knew when he started listing these guys, all King Speaks Row was doing. All right, you name this guy because I know what Lamont was doing. He's trying to name every bum ass center. And hold on, Lamont. Hold on,
Herman
Lamont.
Johnson was
Hold
a
on,
bum.
Lamont. Yes, he was a bum, but he was a bruiser. He was a big body out there to can block us 2 shots.
What was
in
the
the
center on
center?
Phoenix? I always forget the center on Phoenix's name. What was the center on Phoenix's name? What was his
Mark
name?
West. Mark West.
Oh
Mr.
my
10,
God,
6'10",
Mark West, bro.
blocker. But wait a minute. These are what these guys on there. Rim runners who can block a shot, get a rebound. These guys can't. Frank Swiatkowski averages 17 points a game. If I got a big man average 17 points a game, he getting 30 million.
Oh wait. That's why we say that era was trash, hot, garbage. Break
Nah, bro. Nah. Okay. Again, he had a nice little up and under game. I did not say. Okay. Okay.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that, bro.
Yes. We know Irvin Johnson career 4 points and 4 rebounds.
The man's name is Brickkowski. Brickkowski. Let's see how Mr. Brickkowski was out here bricking. He go, okay, he shot 52% for his career, so that's actually decent. We ain't going to.
You know what I'm saying? So how do you do that without a nice up and under game?
You think it was because he's
nice? Look, Kevin
man.
McHale was because I said Kevin McHale. If you want to go, Kevin McHale was a fucking poet in the low post. Okay, Charles Barkley will tell you himself. I couldn't do nothing with that motherfucker. Karl Malone couldn't do nothing with that motherfucker. Keem Olajuwon, Kareem couldn't do nothing with Kevin McHale. He was so wiry and just had 20 million moves. Frank Mikowski was like a 5 on the level of a Kevin McHale's 10. But guess what? That 5 could get you a nice little 52% from the field, a couple of years of what was 60. And look, Lamont, you named Frank Mikowski, but Moses was the center that year, motherfucker. You ain't slick. Moses started at center that season. Moses Malone started at center and averaged 15 and 9. But again, what I want you because what's the name? This is the thing. When I tell you about these players, I didn't collect my basketball. See, I'm come from the era of basketball cards. I come from the era of basketball cards. And what I used to do was take all my 700, I probably had 2 boxes full of basketball cards, and I didn't collect them for value. I might have had a couple of albums and shit, but I would throw the basketball cards on the field. My boy from down the block, Theron, used to come down, hang out with us when we go outside, and I'd have him quiz me. I had baseball cards, basketball cards, a couple of football cards, right? He'd pick up a card, and I have these shit memorized. Like, I memorized where he went to school, the stats, all that shit. Because I was a knowledge seeker. But I would look at these guys on TV. I had the cards, and I would look at these guys on TV. So when once they said he had the Frank Mikowski basketball cards, right? Go Cat told me he had the Frank Mikowski. It got buried in the comments because we talk about Frank Mikowski. All right. But yeah, he just found his trading card, right? That's my deal. And I always, so as Lamont was going down, I was just saying a little quick snippet about these guys' games and why they started. They were good. A lot of these guys, I know he went to the worst teams. And again, Frank McCaskey was the 4. Moses was the 5. So we making a point that, yeah, some of these guys were a little too physical for Rudy Gobert. This is why.
Rudy Gobert. Why you got to do that, bro? You just named Rudy Gobert, man. This guy's a 4-time.
But that was the context of the conversation. We will say again, Rudy. Wait. I'm not the one that called Rudy Gobert soft.
Montrose. I'm looking at Montrose right now. Oh my God. Listen, I got footage.
Montrose is the national championship, sir. You're going to offend a lot of North Carolina. You're going to offend a lot of talk. Yeah. Get him, Charles. Get him, CW.
Yeah, no.
That's a talk. He won a chip. Hold on. Chris Webber? Who beat Chris Webber in the Final Four? Come on now. Come on now.
King Rose, brother. Let's have some fun. I need y'all to see this Brokowski play right here, bro. Can you put this up on the screen? Let's see this. Let's see this Brokowski play right here.
You got to give it a C-dub. That's my Okay, let's see it.
Hold on one second. Let me.
I got the same. You can share the screen. I got it up.
Cool.
We can have some fun with this. This is funny. This is fun here, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to
Piston. Okay,
yeah, it's 1992 opening night.
Okay, good 1992. Cool.
Now I don't know if this is a 92 season or if it's just 1992 in November. The 90 because in 1993, that's when he averaged 16.9. You said he averaged 17.
Yeah, decent season, right? Yeah.
All right, yeah. Let's look at this playlist here. Let's see what Brokowski does. Oh look, he tried. Oh wait, damn, Brokowski can't dunk, bro. Come on, King Rose Beach.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, I got you though. He was balling though in this game though. Watch this. He tried to look at it. Look, bam. He couldn't get that right. But if we look early in these highlights, this young man, look right here. Look, they're gonna post him up like you say. Look, they're gonna post him up. Bang, right. He gonna face him up. Look, jab step. Has he? Bang. That is nasty. That Frank Brokowski. Look at Sam Rothstein. Oh my God. Look, watch this, y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Look, the steal. There you go. He get the steal right here in transition run.
Nice outlet pass.
And he dunk it, ladies and gentlemen. He give you the dunk, Frank Brokowski.
Frank Brokowski was a lunch pail. He was a lunch pail. He was a lunch pail bruiser. You know, again, you had to have a certain amount of toughness. You had to have a certain. Lambier. Okay, white on white crime.
Look,
we call it white on white crime.
Look, they called the foul though. I thought they were supposed to allowed to be tough. They called the foul on that play.
Listen, bro.
Here go Frank Brokowski again. There you go.
Look, man.
We can end it there.
No doubt. Again, at the end of the day, bro, as he was going down, look. He said Charles Shackelford again. Charles Shackelford never started. Charles Shackelford. Shout out again, Mr. NC State.
Facts, Lamont. That man could not play in today's NBA. That man put the ball on the floor one time. That whole highlight. That man is not. He's not surviving today, bro. Are you serious?
But wait a minute. Why wouldn't he? Come on.
Why?
Some of the bums. Some of these guys that play, especially in the big man position, are bums. Let's be okay. You know what? And I hate to do this again. When I say bum, it's all relative. Hold on, because one thing I hate to do. You played in the. It's only 5,000. It's less than 5,000 men who've played in the NBA. Y'all understand this, right?
Oh, wait a minute. I missed this. I didn't see this. Oh, you did. Oh, you got to see this, bro. Hold on, wait. Let me put this back.
Come on, let's we know you
go. Okay, wait, hold on, wait. We didn't see this. Hold on, wait. We didn't see this. Let me put this back on the screen. Get my back. This is elite basketball right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh God, man.
Bro, listen, man. Y'all gotta understand. I'm a basketball fan. Y'all remember I'm y'all age, man. We was all witnessing this. Y'all can see this, right? Y'all see it, right? So first, I'm gonna tell you, this is the play why I say he couldn't play. Here we go. They set up a play for him. Here we go. He gonna set the screen, right? He gonna go over there. Look, he gonna tell him go there. Look, set the screen. Look, then they gonna get him the screens for the layup. He missed that. Garbage, hot garbage. But wait. He's going to redeem himself. Here we go. They're gonna get him the ball on the left side. He gonna dribble. Look, look at this. Oh, look, make the assist. Frank Brokowski. I still ain't seen it up and under yet. I still ain't seen it up and under yet. We still ain't seen it. And that was
Alvin Robinson. That's one of the last guards to win Defensive Player of the Year. Okay. Alvin Robinson was sticky fingers.
Oh my God, yo, bro, you telling me Frank Brokowski could do that, but Rudy Gobert ain't gonna dominate? Look at Frank Brokowski.
No, but what I'm saying is, I said was
Rudy Gobert is pinning that across the street, bro. What you talking about? Here we go. Let's go. Cool. Let's see this up and under. Here we go. Get it to Frank Brokowski in the post versus Lambier. Oh no, where is he? Get it to him. He's open. There he goes. Oh, he traveled. Oh, but he dunked it. Oh, I ain't got the and one.
They take 7 steps today. You pulled that a travel.
Wait. Watch this. Look, he has the ball. You see his 2 feet. Watch what he does with his pivot foot, which is his right foot. Bam, look, lift it, and that's a travel, cuz. I know basketball. We're going to watch it again. Look.
No. I'm glad you said that, Fabian.
That was a travel. Son.
I'm glad you said that, Fabian, because Mr. Lamont thinks Rudy is better than Mutombo. Mr. Lamont said, hold on, because if my takes get good, how the hell, this man said with his house on the line, he's taking Rudy Gobert to guard Shaq over Akeem Olajuwon. Come on now. Mr. Akeem Olajuwon is overrated, and Kobe ain't in my top 10. Look.
Oh, no, Lamont's GPT hates Kobe. Let's go. Okay, I'm still looking for this up and under. No up and under. The nice little mid-range. There you go. Look, you said you got that shot. You can see that shot? Ain't nobody. Oh, here you go. He can dribble. Oh, has he? Okay, spin, give it back to him. Oh, look at the pass. Look, this is what you were talking about, bro. This is easy work for today's NBA players. They be out here torching this
No,
shit.
but I'm trying to understand.
Here you
He's
go. Oh,
showing
look.
you.
Oh, come on. This is why he went. That
Okay,
is
bro,
no.
he's
What
playing
do you
the
think? Oh
most
wait.
physical
What do you
team
think?
in
Oh
the
wait.
league.
What do
Hold
you
on,
think?
see,
Oh
you
wait. What do you
doing
think
this.
Rudy
This is
Gobert's
Mister.
gonna
This
do?
is this.
Oh wait, look.
This
What do you think Rudy Gobert's gonna do in this? But this man ain't going nowhere. Rudy Gobert gonna press up on this man. This man ain't gonna go
No,
nowhere.
no, let me ask you this. Let
Uh,
me ask
uh,
you this. Hold on, exposer. What is Rudy Gobert doing against Bill Laimbeer throwing 6 elbows?
what
You
he?
mean the guy that got put the? You know what I mean Adrian? The guy that got Adrian Adonis by fucking
Uh,
Draymond Green.
yo, this man sprained his
Doing
ankle trying
against
to
Go?
drive to
What
the
is he
lane,
doing
man.
against Laimbeer?
This
Backed
man,
up by Mahorn. Backed up
bro,
by Rodman. Backed up
bro,
by. Come on, John Sally. What is he doing with that
bro.
array of big? See, at least no,
Oh.
you picking a game where I'm not going to get in the low
No,
post
I'm
against
picking
those
highlights. I'm picking the highlights. I'm trying to find this up and under move. You said you
against the
had,
Detroit
man.
Pistons in '92 with all the hackers,
This is
bro.
one of his best games. He had 19 points this game. What do you
Yes,
mean?
it's showing you a variety of skill. So again, first
See,
of all,
now how am I gonna
Moses
nitpick when
was
I've
the
never seen this
center.
before? I've never seen this before, bro. I've never seen this before. This is my first time watching any of this. I've never seen
Cool. So you seen that Frank Mikowski was a nice little player. The reason why he
no,
played 12 years in the league. I mean,
bro.
again.
Yeah, because they had drunks in the league at that time. He could get it 12
No,
years.
no, no, no. Hold on.
Listen.
Now, Roy Tarpley, who would fucking body 90% of the big men today, got suspended in 1992 for life. Okay, Roy Tarpley was on his way up. I
Bro,
mean, it
this
was
man,
90. I think it was 93.
bro, this man just
Roy Tarpley was a baller, and Dallas Mavericks lost him for drugs. So no, this is when Stern started cleaning up the league from the cokeheads and all that.
They went no, that's
So,
what they went to being drunks. They instead of being cokeheads and crackheads, they went to being
okay, and now they TikTok dancers and goddamn hookah
drunks.
smoking. Come
Look,
on, bro. Come on now.
watch this generic ass 2K move he pulls off and sprains his ankle. Watch this.
Jesus. Okay.
Why he sprains his ankle? Look, he sprained his ankle on this 2K.
But you know what?
Hey,
Again.
bro, hold on, wait, bro.
Come on.
That's the 2K generic move they give you when you first create your My Player build, bro. That's like that. You don't even need a VC to get that move, bro. The man
Cool. You know what's so funny, bro? This is this same season. You know what the hot NBA game, the hot NBA video game was? Bulls versus Blazers, right? And I was always that dude. I was always that nigga. I would challenge myself, bro. We don't know. This is 12-bit. This is what 12-bit or 16-bit? No, because we had
it was
16-bit, yeah, with Sega Genesis, right? And don't play it on Super Nintendo. It's much better on Sega Genesis. And I'm picking teams like the Bucks, just to, you know what I'm saying? Because the Bulls and the Blazers, the Lakers still had a pretty decent team on that game. Oh, the Jazz was you want to pick the Jazz, the Knicks.
Yeah.
They only had to remember they only had to say playoff team.
Wait, bro. Hey, King Speed Flow, can you imagine showing some kid today, right? Showing my son, I got an 18-year-old right now. We got
a lot of fundamentals.
Yeah, no. Showing him Blazers versus Lakers video game, and telling him.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
He gonna laugh at me, bro.
No doubt.
But actually, you could actually regenerate that game right now if you wanted to on a computer right now. So easy. It was only 16 bits. That's
my house we ain't got 2 arcades. I'm trying to see if I find one. I'm trying to see if I find NBA Jam in there. In one of the arcades, they actually got 4 arcades. They got 2 upstairs. They got 2 downstairs. Yeah, this is decked out. Nice.
That's Frank, and I ain't gonna lie. I think Frank Bukowski was on one of the 2K jams. Now that you say it,
he might have been on NBA. No. NBA Jam always took NBA Jam. So if you played the Bucks, if you played with the Bucks that year, you probably were picking between Ricky Pierce. I think was Moses on that game. Man. But shout out to the old school, man. Look. Again, we really bought. But I would always pick teams like the Bucks, and I would try to find out what the. So when you're going down these names, I'm just Charles Shackelford. Come on, man. Again, I'm not trying to. If you're in the NBA, it's relative to the other guys in the NBA. If you're in the NBA, you were one of the best 5,000 players who ever suited up. Okay, how many niggas play ball? Millions. How many niggas make it to the NBA? 5,000. Right? Can we agree on that? You get to the NBA, you are no bum. You play this game for a living, you are no bum. Okay? You play this game for a living for 10 years where you can get a goddamn 6-figure pension, you are no bum. I salute anybody that played in the NBA. So when we trash talk, it's all in perspective. To call a guy a bum, obviously, Frank Bukowski is a bum next to Akeem Olajuwon, next to Patrick Ewing.
Hot garbage. We done with the 90s, bro. We done with the 90s.
Nah, man, you're not done with the 90s, bro. As I point out, y'all love the 90s. Y'all just don't. See, we gonna get to this. I
got more. Put this screen up. Put this up again. I got more. We were talking about Bulls versus Lakers, right? Like I said, let's watch this because we all play 2K today. We all know.
Oh, listen, man, I love it. Take it back.
This takes it back. I was like 10 years old.
Remember when the coach would yell, "Shoot it!" as the shot clock was going down.
Let's look at this. Look at it. Look at the intro. Electronics.
Oh, EA Sports in the game.
That's original EA Sports.
The original.
I don't even. It was look at this. You crazy? My son to laugh at us talking about this is one of the best basketball games ever. Get out of here.
This is 91. Yeah, this is the 91. The 91. It came out in 92, I believe, right?
You had to write down passwords. Remember that you had to write down.
Passwords. Yeah.
There was no memory. You had to write down passwords to save a game.
Save a game. Yep. They give you the password. You got to write it down in your notebook.
Oh, don't lose that notebook.
Don't lose that notebook. Your whole season will be going.
There you go. And look, they go to the Chicago Bulls. Look at this game.
Chicago Bulls.
Oh my God, this is it right here, ladies and gentlemen.
No doubt.
This is what they wanted to go back to. I was just
only had the playoff teams. They didn't. So they didn't even put the bum ass teams on these games. You only had the playoff teams.
You know what? That's true. It was only the playoffs. They go and they look. They didn't have no voice announcements. You had to read. So
yeah.
I don't know how the Zesty Jeffries was playing this.
You couldn't even say Bob Costas, right? You got Bob Costas' face, but he calls up Bean Gordon. Hello, B.
Yep. Look,
what's that supposed to be? Isaiah Thomas or what's his name? Clark Kellogg? Or
let's move forward to this. Is how you got the stats.
Look at that. Yeah. Yep. Oh man. But we would go hard, bro. We would go ham.
Look, if you look at it, look, Michael Jordan's not on there. Hold on, wait, let's go. Let me go back. Look, Michael Jordan.
No, he is. He didn't start I think it was back in the mid-90s. Yeah, he's on it. He started realizing, these games is coming up. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to pay me to get on this motherfucker.
Yeah, he was player. Was player.
Was player. It was when NBA Live came out. I think the first live was 95 or 94.
Look at this, bro. Come on, bro. We've evolved.
And everybody had a go-to move. You got to get to their spot and hit a certain button. That's so they go. Karl Malone had the mailman dunk. Barkley had the monster dunk.
Look, even this game, knew Jordan didn't have a left hand. They making him dribble with the right hand the whole way through.
Y'all,
there we go.
Y'all are something else, bro.
Check him out. But come on, bro. Come on, man. 2K. No matter how horrible 2K is, it's way better than this.
Bro, this is what we had at the time, man. Yo, we used to rock with this, bro.
Look, they got the NBA Finals logo on the floor and everything. They got the NBA Finals logo on the floor and everything.
Yep. Yeah, which they don't have today, which is crazy. All right, like everybody sticking to their man. Yeah, you're right. They got the dunk. What was that? Is that Horace Scott? No, that was Ellen Campbell, right?
That was Horace Grant.
Okay. See, I can't even tell. My old ass, I can't tell the difference between purple and red.
That's how it look when you watch it in real life too. That's exactly how grainy it look in real life. To a game from 1991.
Yeah, but again, they were starting to remaster this shit, man. Barkley won on last 95. He followed behind Jordan with making sure. Look, man, once the game started becoming a thing, yeah, you gotta pay me if you want me on this game or use my name. You understand?
That's cool.
You know what came out? You know what came out in 92 too? 90 Team USA basketball. Boy, when they had the dream team basically on there, and I would always challenge myself to beat the dream team with Lithuania and I'm thinking when y'all say that there wasn't no competition.
There was bums back then. Them teams were bums.
Stop it. See again, y'all. I know this is y'all narrative over there, bro. But there was,
That's not a
uh,
narrative, bro. That's not a
this-
narrative.
bro.
I was
Let me
just thinking,
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something.
Uh,
Arvidas Sabonis. What was
yeah,
your thoughts about Arvidas Sabonis? How good of a player do you think he was?
he was a very good player, a Hall of Famer.
He was so fucking good, bro. I seen a man dominate.
But he don't represent all of Lithuania, bro. One player don't represent all of the team. They were scrubs, bro. It was easy to beat them. A college team, that team today.
Not with prime. Not with prime pre.
Man.
You got to remember, Arvidas was like Joker with athleticism before he took. And remember, he tore his ACLs.
And I don't
He got
care.
an ACL it wasn't a full tear or whatever. He was able to play. He wasn't even supposed to play in '88, and he damn sure wasn't supposed to play in '92. But
just like LeBron was dominating, doing all kind of crazy stuff, and his team still lost because the team itself sucked. They're not enough.
okay, look, USA always better. Again,
Not
'92.
Not really. Even like I said,
on,
even the international players got way much better. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. Why
It's
can't
not to take it, bro? Do you understand Andrew?
that?
Do you understand that most of these guys? See, first of all, this is one thing y'all keep saying. Oh, there were more pros in the NBA today than it was back then. Come on, we ain't great Gabriel. Who's the point guard from South Sudan? Who ain't even really? I think he's Sudanese by like one parentage. Like, what's his name? Fucking Carlick Jones.
Bro, you got 4 Canadians in the finals right now, and I just realized it.
Yeah, okay, great, and it's great that Canadians, but you had good Canadians back then. You had guys from Australia. No, I want you to understand. Number one, for a lot of these countries, like Oscar Schmidt never came over to the United States. One of the greatest scorers of all time from Brazil. He never came to the United States. So number one, they weren't paying enough. First of all, the teams took pride in playing for your country. So if you came to the NBA before 90, I think 1990, they finally banned the ban on NBA players playing Olympic ball or playing internet, playing
because the international ball back then was completely different than the NBA ball. That's the point.
Not true. No, okay, number one, you understand?
Translate like that. You don't know if they could translate
before the Berlin Wall went down.
The crackhead 80s and the drunk 90s.
Come on, you again, you're not understanding the culture. The culture of international basketball is already shifted. Now again, Arvidas Sabonis for USSR. Remember, in '88, it's USSR. The Soviet Union was still.
Yeah, they're not playing NBA rules. They're playing international rules. So yeah, he can dominate in that aspect, but he got to come to the NBA where there is no zone, where there is more space because there.
Arvidas Sabonis was a 7-3 joker, sir. He was 7-3 joker with more
joker that they were not going to let shoot the 3-pointer, right? And then for what? Even if he do shoot the 3-pointer, what does it matter? He was not going to change the aspect of the international game.
There's a reason why he drafted twice.
It was just like when the guy Vision wanted to use Akeem Olajuwon to say they played better defense in the 90s. Akeem Olajuwon does not represent all of the 90s to do that. Same thing with Oscar Schmidt or Sabonis. At the end of the day, the competition in the 1992 world national stage is nowhere near.
You're bugging. You're bugging. Again, you're not. You can't use the fact. Hold on. You can't use the fact that Carlick Jones got a cup of coffee when a guy like Sabonis is not counted. We all know Sabonis was a Hall of Famer. We all know when he came over in '95. He was the old broken down version of Sabonis. Look at what his son is doing. Hold on, come on now. I think y'all need to be fair. I went down Australia. Hold on, and again, a lot of these guys from Australia were able to come over and play NCAA ball. Like Andrew Gaze was on the Seton Hall Final Four team. Right? Andrew Gaze, the point guard, a 6'6" point guard from Australia. He actually finally came over in like 94, got a cup of coffee with the Spurs or whatever. But Andrew Gaze, a lot of these guys played high-level Division I ball. Now, again, they played. Obviously, he played in the NBL. He's the NBL. He's the NBL Jordan, Andrew Gaze, pretty much, right? He's the Jordan of the Australia League. He was a pretty damn good player. As I said, right, when I brought this up, I used to play with those guys to try to beat my brother and everybody playing with Team USA. It was a challenge to me and I would actually give them a run for their money and probably win a few of those games. Again, we playing with this 12-bit shit, but I would find out where who could shoot the mid range. Andrew Gate was a hell of a 3-point shooter. It was again a lot of guys that wound up playing in the NBA afterwards. They didn't play in the NBA before '92 because again, up until then they banned players. If you played in the NBA, you couldn't go back and represent your country. Then Dragan Petrovic, once Dream Team came, Petrovic can go play for Croatia. Again, remember it was one time it was all Yugoslavia. Now the basically Joker and Doncic before the political splits, they were all Yugoslavia. So back in '92, they would have played on the same team. Now those players are split up on different teams, Serbia, Montenegro, and I don't even know like
blah. Bums. They can't play today. The man
okay, they can't. So you tell me Petro could play today. You tell me Dragan Petrovic could play today.
Petrovic could shoot from the 3-point line, and
Petrovic was a fucking baller.
Yeah,
the Barcelona's baller. Again, I think y'all got it again. But you use Carlick Jones and Wenyen Gabriel. I mean, I'm just saying because they got cups of coffee in the NBA.
I didn't use them. That's your people's. I ain't bring those guys up. Why you brought up Sudanese?
Well, why? Because they damn near beat the guy. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for a few controversial calls, they would have beat Team USA.
Man, the Serbian team is better today than the Lithuanian team was.
No, whatever. You know what? Again, as I say,
and this Sudanese team is better than the Angola team that the '92 team faced. What are you guys talking about, bro?
I think y'all are bugging there because you're talking about the United States who have 300 something million people, and these countries got like 8 million. These countries got the population. Some of these countries got the population of Detroit.
Why don't you address Philip here line talking about he came in, gave Shaq problems after he was old. The man averaged 15 points, 13 points, man.
Like, he did give Shaq problems though, bro.
That's not a problem.
Shaq hated
16 points. Like he's not dominating nothing, man.
But you gotta remember Johnny. You gotta remember this guy with 2 ACL tours that never got surgically repaired. He was just doing this off a straight head. Yo, Arvidas was just straight.
He wasn't doing nothing. He was playing in the '90s.
You do realize the Blazers had them down.
He wouldn't even get on a roster today. He wouldn't even make a roster today.
His son is one of the best fucking centers in the league, and he's a smaller, less athletic version of him.
His son is better than him.
You watch out, bro, Johnny. See, this is what I'm talking. See, we're gonna get into this. Let's get into this. Let's get to this part. You guys take the fun out of the gold. I think Zesty definitely do as well. And we talked about this ring culture because one thing I didn't give is the bronze sexuals or the fanboys their smoke. And ring culture has extended to this generation where if you don't win a ring, and again, I get it. Look, I can't fault LeBron because he's a victim of ring culture. So he had to do what he had to do. Wade, all these guys. Wade got his ring, but again, they was like we got to catch Kobe. Kobe got 5, nigga. You got 0. I got my 1. We got to catch up to that motherfucker, right? So let's form like Voltron. Let's do that shit. Let's take over the league. Okay, here's the deal. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not okay. We all know. LeBron didn't really think he was going to win 8. He didn't really think he was going to pull a Bill Russell. Well, why wouldn't he? Nigga, if you that nigga, go pull Bill Russell. And if he did it, guess what? I would have had nothing to say. You know what? That nigga is the GOAT. He pull a Bill Russell. Now, obviously, right, at their age and Wade, and I don't know. You know what kills me about this, right? I'm a basketball historian. I understand why Bill Russell won 8. It ain't as simple. It's not as simple as he had all the good players on him and it was only 9 teams. That's a bullshit. You know why Bill Russell? Because about 6 of those series, 4 of them with the Lakers. 6 of those series came down to the Game 7. Game 7, the fourth quarter of Game 7. And guess who was always there to make the right play and win? Bill Russell. It was a couple of these cats. It was a couple of these series that I think they swept the Lakers once. They beat the Lakers in 5. But Jerry West and them was right and always knocking on the door. And Jerry West will tell you himself, I was 4 plays away from having 5 rings. I had to settle on the 1. It just so happened. Bill Russell was a fucking winner. Period. Point blank, period. Again, he drafted into a good safety. He drafted him a team that had Cousy and needed him to come in and put it up. Again, Bill Russell's in my top 3 for that reason. Will Chamberlain's in my top 3 for that reason. And we all know my number 1. Again, I think, again, as I say with LeBron, I'm one of those people that hold him to the failure. I'm the one, again, I know you say you don't believe in Vegas odds and all that shit, but let's be real. There was 7 major letdowns in LeBron James' career. 7 major ones. 09, they were favored against the Dwight Howard.
7.
Wow. And Danger Production made a video. Again, if you're going to use Vegas odds, we got to use Vegas odds sometimes. Because that's what favorite and underdog comes from. We read papers. The favorite, the underdog, favorite, dog, right? They were favored. They were 4-1 favorites against the Dwight Howard's team. They lost. You know, LeBron had 38-8, but he in the fourth quarter, the last 3 losses, he was 9 of 24. Again, fourth quarter in overtime, he had 7. Game 5, he had 7 turnovers, 4 in the fourth quarter, 3 in overtime. Again, that's that. Contrary to a Bill Russell, I think I'm sure Bill Russell missed a lot of shots. Guess what? When you miss it, shout out to these people that hate Angel Reese, because you motherfuckers are dumb. A me bound? I don't know what the fuck is a me bound. Guess what? If you miss your shot and you get your own rebound, it's clean. First of all, without me bound, she's still a leading rebounder in the NBA. Females don't get 10 rebounds a game like that. It's not like that. If you rebound the fuck, if you know me, Ajani, we could bump fists on this. Rebound, I respect rebound because I am a motherfucking rebounder. And half the time, I get picked because I can rebound and play defense. I can pass a little bit, give me the rock. I can get a nice little no-look and shit like that. I'm not a shooter. I can score. I can score a little bit in the post, depending on who I'm playing. Obviously, I'm not fast no more. Whatever. But at the end of the day, rebounders. So Russell, I don't care about his that was, first of all, 44% was around league average. That's where the game was played at that point. Bill Russell, even Will Chamberlain shot 52, 53%, something like that. Again, he was above league average. But everybody else, they would get the fastest shot. They weren't drawing up for the most careful shot. It was a different game. Again, Bill Russell, in these high-paced, high-octane games, was always there to make the winning play. That's why he has a championship. And again, the 8, 9 teams in the league, well, that means he only played against the 80 best. Because you motherfuckers will say, oh, expansion ruined the league. No, expansion didn't ruin the league. It gave more players opportunity to play in this great game we call the NBA. You understand what I'm saying? It made more players. Again, when y'all say Jordan played in the expansion era, well, in Jordan's career, 6 teams into the league. Now, 6 teams into the league, the owners had to pay like hundreds of millions of dollars as the franchise fee, putting money into the pot so players can get more. You attract more good athletes. And again, guys who wouldn't have made the league now make the league. Some of these guys, like a Bruce Bowen, I know he was drafted. He wasn't drafted to an expansion team, but he was drafted to a team that he was. Ben Wallace, Hall of Famer, was undrafted out of Virginia Union. Sat at the end of the Washington Wizards bench the first couple of years. It was Washington Bullets the first year, and they went to Wizards. They wanted to stop promoting gun violence, and the Bullets became the Wizards. And next thing you know, he winds up on Detroit. So, again, more teams, more jobs, more players that might not have made the league before now got a chance to do something. So again, 6 teams in the league, that's good for business. The whole thing about the NBA has always been a business. There was again, as I go through the history of the league, you understand the league started with 11 teams. 3 of those teams still exist today. We all know the 3 teams, right? The Knicks, Celtics, and Warriors. The Warriors were in Philadelphia. Only the Knicks and the Boston Celtics are the only 2 teams that started in 1946 and still play in the same city that they play today. A lot of those teams went out of business. There was a time when they did not think pro basketball could work. Pro basketball the NBA could have went under how many times? So I respect every era, even the George Mikan. And again, one thing I don't do with George Mikan is include him in my list because he played in a segregated league. I put him somewhere down. I put him in the 50s, 40s, whatever, because he was dominant, but he played in a segregated era. But everybody and one thing I agree with Lamont is I try not to be era biased, and I try to just look at what players did in their era and how they dominated. Again, if I'm gonna put the thing in the criteria in ChatGPT, I'm gonna tell ChatGPT, be respectful of the fact that there was no defensive player of the year. So you have to now go off anecdotes and things like that. How good of a defender was Russell? How good a defense was Nate Thurman? How good of a defender was Walt Bellamy? So and so. Wilt Chamberlain, so and so. How good of a defender was Oscar Robertson? And all of that. So you can give him a grade for defense. You understand what I'm saying? No, Lamont, I put my full criteria. One day we'll get into it on this show, but I put my full criteria, 10-point criteria. I have 10 points, you have 5. And by the same token, in your criteria, George Mikan should be in your top 10 list because he fits 3 of your, unless you disqualify him, as you say you don't, for his era. He fits 3 of the criteria of the 5 at least, and Kobe only fits 2, right? That's crazy. I don't understand how Kobe don't meet the MVP criteria when he has an MVP, but we'll whatever. But what I try not to do, again, I try not to.
LeBron is your GOAT, though, bro. LeBron is.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Actually, he's. So when I put it in unfeathered, he came up 3rd. Then I had to remind them, hey guys, I do deduct points when a guy had a team that had expectation and didn't meet them. And we were talking about the 7 letdowns. Again, you had 2 teams that were top 4 in preseason championship odds. And I'm going to throw championship odds out, right? In 2019, when he first came to the Lakers with that young core, they thought that the Lakers had the 4th best odds of winning the championship that year. They didn't make the playoffs. I get it. I'll give him the injury excuse, right? When he came back, they still had a chance to catch the Clippers. The Clippers had traded Tobias Harris that year. The gap worsened when LeBron came back. They went 2-12. Okay? You got it. I mean, come on, man. You know what?
Jordan failed in 88, 89, 90, 95. You don't accept that.
But they were not favorites in those. But they were not favorites in those series. Though the Pistons were an established team.
No, they weren't. You don't have no records of them being the favorite team. What established record do you have that the Detroit Pistons were a favorite team in 1988 versus the Bulls in that series? Where do you have that information?
Okay, even if they weren't a favorite in '88. But I'm on mind. They've already had long playoff runs, right? That same group with Isaiah. Yes, they did. They got to the conference semifinals a couple of years. They were knocking on the Celtics for a few years, sir. Okay, I would have to look at it.
That's not how it works, sir. That's why I'm saying. That's why.
Wait a minute. And why would they not be the favorite in '89 when they were defending Eastern Conference champions?
Because Michael Jordan just went out there and blew the 2 teams out before him.
Yeah, but this is a team that should have beaten. A lot of people felt should have beaten the Lakers back to back. The first team that went back to back in 19 years. And
Jordan was the same way, but he kept choking versus Detroit, kept underperforming.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Johnny. This is the one thing that kills me. We all know that Detroit was the more established team, the deeper team. Scotty was still in it. Like, we gotta be honest, bro.
That's false. That's all false and all false.
Y'all spin so much. I'm glad LeBron is here.
Jordan was a horrible team basketball player. The team could not flourish because Jordan wasn't trying to play team basketball.
Okay. And according to you guys, he never brought it into the triangle, but won 6 championships playing the style.
I got quotes from Michael Jordan as far as 1991 claiming that the triangle offense was called the de-Michaelization offense. He called it that. That's Michael Jordan.
But he won. So imagine LeBron.
Yeah, he won in spite of everything that y'all say he's great for. That's the whole point.
Jordan. But does that not now make him even greater? He played a style he didn't want and still won.
It makes his team even greater. They were able to win with a superstar that selfish, that unable to adapt.
Oh, the spin! Oh, y'all spin! Y'all spin like Sprewells, man. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. You brought up degenerate gamblers' odds. I still want to figure out why does that mean something to you? Why does it mean something to you for somebody who's desperately trying to just win money? Not trying to make the right basketball decision, be the determination factor for what you feel like a team should be.
So are you telling me when Ali fought Liston, that wasn't a monumental upset?
Ali versus Liston. Some people say first of all that fight was thrown.
Was thrown.
That's not the same scenario. Boxing has odds and is one man versus another man. At the end of the day, the reason somebody won and lost that fight was because somebody was the better boxer. Ali was the better boxer. The reason the Magic beat the Cavaliers, better team. The same way you feel like the Detroit Pistons beat the Bulls, better team. So expectations had nothing to do with it. The better man won, the better team wins. The expectations is all predicated on how they can make money on gamblers who are insistent to continually gamble when they lose more than they ever win.
Well, guess what? Your daddy Adam Silver, like LeBron's daddy Adam Silver, fully embraces it because now every sport. And again, I have my feelings about the gambling system, but at the end of the day, it is still a mark of expectation. It is still a mark of expectation. And there's the thing: how, if I look at the supporting cast, how did Dwight Howard, who's supposed to be an inferior player on an all-time scale, how did he make his team?
Whoa! Where does he become an inferior? That's what I'm saying. This is another thing you got.
Is LeBron ready not to go? I'm talking to go James Kingdom, right?
Was Dwight Howard or not Dwight Howard Defensive Player of the Year 2009?
Yes, he was.
Was he the blocks champ in 2009?
But wait a minute, wasn't LeBron the MVP? And yes, did he have a 66?
No, LeBron was, but did LeBron also have 3 other All-Stars on? Did he have Rashard Lewis on his team? Did he have Michael Petrus on his team? Did he have a Hito Turkoglu on his team? Did he
tell me Michael Petrus, sir?
Again,
I know he was a nice player. He wasn't a bum.
You said Frank Bukowski. You brought up Arvidas Sabonis. I'm bringing up solid guys, and I'm not even praising them like that. I'm just telling you that they had a very good, solid team. All these guys were good catch and shoot guys, and you would agree with me, which worked well with Dwight Howard.
So they played a better style. They played a better style.
On the team that didn't have
I won't say that they were better coached by Stan Van Gundy.
No, that the Cavaliers overachieved. To go from winning 40-something games to 60-something games is overachieving. They
when you have home court advantage and you lose in the playoffs
before that season, and that's why you lied off there. When the season started in 2009, the Cavaliers were not expected to win 60 games. They won.
I was actually talking about the ones I said the 2 times he missed the playoffs. They were top 4. That 20 it would be 19 and 20 and 22.
Yeah,
where they were top 4.
And that was all due to injury in both years.
I mean, everybody has bro. Okay, we also talking about the post COVID year, the post year after COVID, where they had the 72 game condensed schedule, shortened season, right? So you had that. In addition to the injuries were up, so everybody was injured. Everybody had to deal with injuries based on how you built your team and how you were able to deal with it. Again, LeBron James came out in a tweet. Keep that same energy. Y'all making all y'all. We're too old. We can't shoot. Blah blah blah. And I said it. I said all of it. I said that. I love Westbrook. That trade was going to be a disaster. Y'all gave up KCP, Kuzma, and I forget the other. Montrezl Harrell. Again, he was another scrappy guy. Well, I don't know why he in the league. He was 6th man of the year in 2019, that bubble, right before the bubble. But then, anyway, the end of the day, they had a lot of expectations and did not make the playoffs. Again, you have injuries. Everybody had injuries. Everybody had. You got to. I mean, again, we're talking. Now we're at the point where you have to play in. They didn't even make the play in. That is a monumental letdown. I'm sorry, bro. And he's the one that tweeted, keep that same energy. Bro.
If he's not there, if the team that he thought that he was going to have to make the playoffs with wasn't the team there, that's what it was. They had Anthony Davis played 40-something games. LeBron James played 40-something games. All together as a team between him, Westbrook, and LeBron played 22 games that entire season together.
But then you got again. It's in that
team. They did not have.
Everybody else had a next man up mentality. Where again, number one, the team was paper thin. I said the trade was the dumbest trade ever made because I mean, mind you, you gave up a pick to get Westbrook. And stylistically, it just never worked. You got two guys that pretty much do the same thing.
No,
LeBron, of course, does it more efficiently.
it would have worked with better coaching. Again, LeBron's never had a Phil Jackson. I hear somebody.
Okay, well, wait a minute.
Go Cal says here. He says, doesn't it make Mike coachable since the triangle helped him win championship? We never said Mike wasn't coachable. He coached. He played for Dean Smith. He's obviously coachable. Nobody said Mike's not coachable, but we do know he did not like the triangle offense because
a lot of people don't like the triangle, but it was
because of stat padding. Mike wasn't trying to win championships. Mike was.
He wasn't even trying to. Johnny, when you say that he wasn't trying to win championships,
that's what you say. He wasn't trying to win.
Jordan was not. If Jordan was trying to win, he would have never fought every move and thing that the Chicago Bulls and Phil Jackson was trying to do. He would have took less shots. Jordan's main interest was making sure that he was still an all-star, winning scoring titles, winning league MVPs for the sake of selling sneakers. This is why you guys have to accept. Michael Jordan knew, again, he didn't even play 10 straight NBA seasons. The man was going to retire after 7-8 years.
And come on, okay, you know why he retired. You know why he retired in '93. You know why he retired in '93.
Of the media and being the face of the league.
Man.
He had a father that was murdered, sir. This is one thing y'all gotta look. If God forbid, if something happened, LeBron is such a mama's boy. If something happened to Gloria, do you think LeBron would have his head? Would I get on LeBron?
The man don't know his father, and he became the GOAT.
But I said Gloria, and we all know he's a mama's boy. We all know that he didn't like the way Riley was talking to Gloria in down in Miami.
And he should.
And then the milk and cookies. Wait a minute, you know what the man that left Miami because of milk and cookies, and he admitted it. So let's not go there. Let's not go there.
He said he left Miami for milk and cookies, but
Michael
Jordan left the Chicago Bulls due to the fact that he was facing numerous pressures of his gambling issues.
Bro, he had a.
The
whole thing. I want to make the major league for my father.
You won't let me expose that part. You want to say that I'm lying, but like I always tell y'all, this is why y'all get. We're not talking basketball, but when I start,
it's funny.
I'm exposing Michael Jordan for all of the flaws that you guys continually to bring up about.
Lamar just again. I said the mute button would never be used here, bro, because we having an honest conversation.
You've been going on for a while, bro. It's been an hour and a half. You know, I
know. We gonna get up out of here soon. We're gonna finish on this.
Listen, I am a content creator, so I'm here to support you in your content creation.
No doubt, and I really appreciate it.
You know, I can be doing other stuff. I can be making videos, making fun of Zesty Jeff. But instead, I'm here with you to explain to you why I have this problem. Because again, we want to talk basketball, but you refuse to accept Jordan's failures. Him not meeting expectations. You refuse to accept Michael Jordan's flaws. The fact that he couldn't play 10 straight NBA seasons. That he refused to play a basketball season without his coach. Forget it.
After 6 championships, after giving the organization 6 championships.
Why should LeBron stay on the Cleveland Cavaliers? Why should LeBron do all the stuff that you think?
No. And I told Lamar this, and I tell you guys all this. I never criticize a player for using free agency. That's what they do. You want to leave? I never criticize LeBron for leaving. Go ahead, leave, and then get every all-star who wants to play with you. Go ahead, recruit the whole league. But then win. You just told me Michael Jordan didn't like the offense, but he still won. Not only did he win, he won at a dominant level, bro. Again, you know what?
The best team in basketball, not because of Michael Jordan.
Bro, if you really look at those rosters, outside of Pippen, outside of Kukoc in the second three-peat, Cliff Livingston was in Greece in my '94. I'm not trying to diss these guys, but they weren't.
They got Cliff Livingston on a discount.
I get it, but that's the reason why. Because he would be in Greece by '94.
I don't hate MJ.
You got to be out of the league.
I just know MJ is not what you guys say he is. It's not my fault you praise Jordan and you don't see the flaws. It's not my fault.
No, I keep it. Again, I told you, bro, I started this. I did not root for Jordan. I rooted against Jordan. Mm-hmm. Like, I didn't. But when I look at bro, okay, let's do this. There's one thing I want people to understand. Because we talked about the J.R. Smith thing. See, as Lamont read all these quotes and he quoted it on the media panel right after games, I mean, it exposed me as a liar. Jordan, we all remember the Jordan retirement press conference. If you tell me it's the gambling and not I wanted to go, my father wanted me to be a baseball player, and that's what he said, right? So you either call him a liar or I mean, and then he went down. I want a man to make this work.
I'm gonna call you a liar and say you didn't watch the retirement because in that same retirement, Michael Jordan also stated that he already decided to retire prior to his father passing. That he already made that decision and he was just waiting to the end of the offseason to truly announce it. But he had already made that decision before his
So
father
when he came back and wanted to the next championship on Father's Day and cried like a baby, that was phony too. And so it didn't have nothing.
what does that have to do with Michael Jordan quitting the game after 9 years? Nothing at all.
I feel I have nothing to prove. My father always wanted me to play baseball, so I'm going to try. You realize he came back because it was a baseball site.
3 championships, 8 All NBAs.
He had nothing to prove.
He had a lot to prove. He was nowhere near the GOAT, nowhere better than Will.
I think you don't understand. He's different between our guy.
I know. He had nothing to prove to himself because that's what I'm trying to explain to you. Michael Jordan never had these high expectations to do all the stuff that y'all claim he did. He never had this expectation to do all that. The 3 championships was enough because he didn't think he could win one. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. He's telling you in his own words, he's telling you, I overachieved what I wanted to do so I can move on from the game and still sell sneakers and make millions of dollars. And I make more money selling sneakers than I do playing basketball. And I can chill, not worry about being in front of the media all the time, having to answer questions, having to deal with David Stern.
So I'm gonna go to the Chitlin circuit and play baseball and hit 245.
Again, you said he wanted to play baseball. That's something Michael Jordan wanted to do. You think Michael Jordan wanted to play baseball for what? Like what was the purpose? Because he was
what's the proof he can do it? See, again, I think the difference in my guy and your guy.
That got nothing to do with him not coming to play basketball. He only came back to play basketball because the sneaker sales were going down. No, the sneaker sales were going down. And Nike sales were going down. Guys like Barkley, Pippen, Penny, Shaq, well not Shaq, but the guys who was on Nike couldn't replicate the marketing power Michael Jordan had. So Michael Jordan understood if I go back to the league, whether I win or not, shoe sales are going to go up. And not only did shoe sales go up, the whole economy went up with Michael Jordan coming back to basketball. So again, that was always his intention, to be rich, make wealth, be very wealthy. With his image, his brand, that's why he's very caught. He can win, of course, and I can win because I can see that the Bulls are still a solid team, and the rest of the league has been watered down by adding another 2 expansion teams. Now you have a Greg Anthony, who was a bench warmer for years, become a starter on the team, a full-fledged starter. And team winning
the Grizzlies who didn't do anything. And after a year, they would have another starter. Greg Anthony. Bro, y'all make a big deal. The first pick was Greg Anthony, I believe, and the second pick was B.J. Armstrong. Mind you, B.J. Armstrong, who left his team a year. The year I think it was the year. No, he left. Did he play in the '94?
He was the All-Star in '94, but he left in '90. He got drafted in
'95. So Jordan did.
So that's when Jordan returned. That's what I'm saying. He left the Bulls and got drafted to a scrub team. Here we go again. A guy that was a perennial bench guy in B.J. Armstrong just finally found his starting position. Is now moving over to an expansion team. But again, a bunch of bums who didn't make a roster before or was at the end of a bench. And now they're a full-fledged team, and they're facing all these teams. And now you're getting 60-win teams because they're playing 4 games versus the Grizzlies or 4 games versus the Toronto Raptors.
Okay, why would the Bulls play 4 games versus the Grizzlies? They're in the opposite conference.
They played 2, but that's 6 easy victories. That's how they won 72 games.
But you have boom teams at any point. Again,
what about when the Bobcats came in? Bobcats are trash.
When the Bobcats came in, that's just one NBA team, and obviously the talent pool is the problem with the '90s. Because again, if you go back to the '60s when they were expanding in the '60s, there was so many extra players that didn't make the NBA that they were able to actually start another league in the ABA. So when the NBA was expanding, they were grabbing still talented players that could have made the league, but they just wasn't enough team to have them in the league. So it wasn't like they weren't grabbing good players. The 90s, it was different. When you're adding teams, there was no pool of players sitting around waiting to join the league. It was that's it. All the best players in the world were already in the NBA. So that's the difference. In 1966, the best players in the world, like Rick Barry, left the NBA and went to the ABA. So there was a bunch of great players in the ABA that could have been in the NBA. You didn't have that in the middle of the 90s. And again, that's why you had guys like Muggsy Bogues, Dale Curry have illustrious careers due to the expansion. Again, the expansion was great for the league, but that's why we say it was watered down, because the teams, and not only that, the lack of movement, the mobility that the league didn't allow. It was teams were able to keep stars. It was hard to put stars together. You didn't have an ability to do like what the Boston Celtics and the Lakers did in the 80s, and other teams were able to do in the 2000s, like the Celtics getting Kevin Garnett and getting Ray Allen in the same offseason. Kobe Bryant getting Pau Gasol for Kwame Brown. Like that didn't happen in the 90s. The Bulls drafted well, selected players well, and had a team ready to go in the 90s better than anybody else. Just like Lamont stated, they were making moves every year. They were drafting, trading, picking up players, doing all kind of stuff to make their team better year after year.
At the end of the day, they had the best system, the best coach. Again, they had the best. They didn't have the best talent. The Bulls didn't come out and out talented you. They came out and outplayed you. The league was not ready for triangle offense with Jordan and Pippen running it. We understand that part. It's
not the only basketball offense. There's other offenses that
of course. But it won. I mean, again, at the end of the day, there's winners and losers.
No,
the fact that they won is
triangle one is because, again, the Chicago Bulls built a good roster.
Bro. I need to get this out.
Phil's not running that offense unless he sees that actual roster. When you have a guy like a John Paxson, when you have a Craig Hodges, when you have all these good catch and shoot guys at the even guys like Horace Grant was known to be a stretch four when they were drafting him.
What did Horace Grant do outside of the triangle? Did he go to Orlando and set the world on fire?
Yes, he made all defensive teams over there and won games over there as well. Was one of the best rebounders.
You can put the same numbers up. Here's the thing. Steve Kerr. He played in 27 finals games. You know what his shooting percentage?
Why didn't you go to Ron Harper? When Ron Harper
because you know why? Because Ron Harper at some point was a great player. Steve Kerr
sacrificed
was a nice but I want you to understand.
Do other things for the team because they were that's a good team. That's a good pickup.
Yeah, but in the finals, he shot 48% true shooting percentage and 27 from three. The one great thing that Steve Kerr can give you, he didn't give you, yet they won anyway. J.R. Smith, again, these are not great numbers, but J.R. Smith was a better talent than Steve Kerr. I say this for a reason. J.R. Smith shot 60%, I think 58% from shooting and 38% for three. One series, the 27th series, they lost in 7 games. With J.R. Smith at 59%, including the last 3 games. I believe he was 5 for 10, 5 for 9, and 7 for 8 in the last 3 games of that series, but they unfortunately lost in 5. J.R. Smith is looked at as when I Googled this, J.R. Smith finals mistake. I was Googling J.R. Smith finals numbers. I got J.R. Smith finals blunder. A guy who actually performed at the biggest stage. Not only was J.R. Smith shooting those numbers, but J.R. Smith actually was the one responsible for guarding Steph Curry in the 4 straight finals that Cleveland and Golden State face. He played great defense on Steph Curry. Steph Curry was not himself in the 15 finals, 16 or 17. He did play well in 18, I believe. But again, he played very adequate defense against an MVP level player. But everybody looks at J.R. Smith as a joke. And they look at Steve Smith as this great champion. Steve Kerr is this great champion. Come on. There's a reason why. Because Steve Kerr got the 4 rings that Michael Jordan spread the love on. And bro, you said Vogel, right? Vogel was the coach of in 21 when they got blown off the door, right? Vogel was a championship coach. So which one is it? Was he a championship coach, or was he not an adequate coach? Oh, here's a spin. LeBron won a championship coach with a bum. But that same championship coach led a young Paul George and a young Roy Hibbert and David West to a game 7 against what I think is LeBron's best individual team, the 2013 Miami Heat. So Vogel could coach. Is he Pat Riley? No. But Vogel could coach. But we always spin it to where no one on and that's why I brought up the accountability thing yesterday with Lamont, because nobody really at the end of the day gets credit but LeBron for his team winning. And you're going to tell me, because they built a great roster and Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who put up all-time numbers, my God, he is number one in so many things as far as advanced analytics and things like that. But no, Michael Jordan just wanted to shoot. It's a spin, bro. It's a spin. So again, I really look. We can debate that another time. I really wanted to get into the vitriol that both fan bases give each other. Because again, I will tell you, ring culture fucking sucks. Like guys will sell their soul. Guys will say, I've seen guys turn down $100 million bags to go try to win a ring for $4 million. That is the bro. If I'm your cousin, if I'm your,
isn't that what the Miami Heat did, and you guys are knocking them for it?
I think it's stupid. Well, a lot of people, guess what? A lot of people went to the Heat and didn't win a ring. So you turn down $100 million bag and didn't win a ring.
I'm talking about LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, all taking less.
Well, again, as I said, I don't criticize.
Shaq didn't do that.
I don't criticize.
Jordan do that. Jordan didn't do that. What players in NBA history? What NBA players in NBA history were willing to sacrifice money for championships besides LeBron?
They sacrificed a couple of $1 million. I mean, let's be real. The max super max was $20 million back then. Now they took 15. Okay, cool. I'm not look. It's not monopoly money. That does matter, right? Obviously they got it on the back end with all the championships and loves, right? Cool. But at the end of the day, but Johnny, I want you to understand, I don't criticize. I say, look, Kurt Flood, who passed away, R.I.P. He is a pioneer in all of the sports because he brought free agency to the limelight. So free agency now, a player has the right to dictate his own career. I don't never, ever, ever. I don't care where you go. I don't criticize Kevin Durant for going to the team that just beat him. I don't criticize LeBron. But when you do it, own it. Go out there and do what you say you're going to do. Win the 8 championships. I wouldn't have look, if you won 8 championships, you're the GOAT. Even if you did it that way, I wouldn't nitpick it. But you didn't. You took 2 of the least competitive final. We played 79. This is the 79th NBA final. This final was evenly played. I think up until game 4, it was even. Now OKC has a plus 13, so that's plus 2.6 a game. LeBron James played the losing end of the least competitive 2 competitive finals of 79 in NBA history. And he did it with considerable help around him.
How you gonna say that? How you gonna say that when you only seen like 30% of 30 years of the finals, bro? Like you just be saying stuff like
No, but these are the numbers. I'm just going off numbers. I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, false numbers.
Oh, so they were making up numbers back in 46, right? 47, 40.
Making up what numbers? What numbers? You talking about numbers, the worst finals. Why would LeBron James be the worst finals? Why?
Well, he was the least competitive in terms of point differential. Like, right?
That was one. That was one finals. He has the top 2?
Well, yes, he does. 14 and 18. 14 when they lost in 5 games. 14 when they lost in 5 to the Spurs, and 18 to sweep. Those are the 2 least competitive finals in NBA history. One, it was, I believe, 15 points a game.
Those were the biggest final separations in NBA history.
Yes. You can check ChatGPT. You can check Google.
So one was the NBA finals versus the greatest team to ever play, and the other one was obviously the 2014. So now,
okay.
I just want to make sure I get this correct because y'all always say stuff, and I don't research stuff like this because it means nothing to me. It's the most silliest shit ever to me. I've never heard this. Again, you guys love to talk about negative stuff until I start bringing up Jordan's negative stuff. So again, you're saying that the 2018 finals and the 2014 finals are the biggest lopsided finals by average in NBA history. Okay.
Yes, sir. And I've seen Shaq and Kobe play against Todd McCullough and Jason Kidd and Kenya Martin. Okay, so yes, numbers wise, they are one of the least competitive fighters. They were the highest point spread in terms of point differential, the highest blowouts in NBA final. Every other finals, I mean, we've seen some lopsided finals matchup, but those were the two lowest. So like it's like the equivalent of getting blown out 40-3 in a Super Bowl. You know, 55-3 in a Super Bowl, pretty much. But again, that's here. Again, I don't want to go again. The 10 finals was great. LeBron did have two. Again, I salute LeBron for his 2013 season. That was a great season. Again, they had to make the comeback. Obviously, I was wrong on my. I forgot that they went down 3-2. I actually kind of coming back. LeBron was great in Game 7. We all know the Ray Allen shot kind of gave him second life, right? We all know that, and as Lamont correctly put up, he gave Allen credit for it, right? He gave Allen and Bosh should have got credit too because he tracked down the rebound. Can't have one without the other. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, again, this triumphs is look, Jordan. I think you guys overdue the Jordan losses. Again, there were 9 losses. There were 9 times where he didn't win. There were 6 times where he didn't. Again, now with LeBron, you got 4 times where he triumphed and 18 times when they didn't. Again, it's a lot when it comes to ring culture because I think people don't even seem to understand. It's a lot of sometimes it's luck. The Celtics, when we talk about this leprechaun shit, some of that shit was luck. I mean, even Russell and Bird both admitted, goddamn, we were lucky that day. Goddamn, we got that steal. I don't know what I just happened to be in the right place at the wrong time. I normally don't get that fucking steal. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so at the end of the day, to win a championship, a lot has to happen. You play 82 games, and you got to be better than a team, another great team, for 2 weeks. And, again, I don't want to sit there and be like, I don't use 4 and 6. I don't use 6 and 0. Again, I don't use it. The fact that LeBron was there in the finals should be saluted. You know what I'm saying? I don't, again, the letdowns aren't even in the finals. The letdowns were early in the season, and I mean in the playoffs or whatever. And again, I say this when I do my GOAT list. Understand this: 5,000 people played. Those are 5,000 of the best 2 million, 10 million, however many people ever picked up a basketball. And to be the top 10, you are the cream of the cream of the cream. So I can't, bro. If you're 7, if you're 6, that's not a good. To be up there with Larry Joe Bird, to be up there with Kobe Bryant. But I mean, Lamar, I don't fault Lamar for having Kobe 11. That's still one of the best players that ever. You're talking about the best 1% of 1% of 1%. That's salute. You understand what I'm saying? So we do this, and it's like cutting an atom, man. Like we can't necessarily. It's just hard, But at the end of the day, man, I think, and again, we're gonna sign off here. I really appreciate you, Ajani, for coming up here, man. It's really, I appreciate you. I disagree with you, but I'm a fan of what you do. I'm a fan of your platform, this, that, and the third, man. And it's getting late. I know you got other things to do, and I got a little whiny boy in the back. We had a long day as well, man. I've been up since 2 or 3 this morning. But I really appreciate you, man. This was definitely an honest discussion. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think a lot of your takes are crazy, you stand behind them, and you came up here to really have it out with me. It wasn't a debate.
I prove everything I say. I always tell people I got proof of everything I say. The reason when I started Go James Kingdom with Brandon, I told him I was not going to be one of them dudes that was going to come up here and just say stuff. I was not going to just come up on social media and just talk the talk. I'm somebody that if I say something and people even in real life, that's how I am in real life. When I say something, people know I stand behind what I say. That's when you say stand 10 toes down. You got to be a man in this world, bro. If you don't have your word, if you ain't got your word, what do you have as a man? You really have nothing. So I always tell people I want to stand on my word, and that's why I snap on people, because when it comes to me saying what I say, and now you feel like you want to disrespect me, that means not only you disrespecting my word, you disrespecting who I am as a man, and I'm not here for that. But since since you want to take it that route, I can go that route as well. I'm not like these other people that it's like, well, I don't have the energy to argue with idiots. No, I have the energy to argue with idiots. I'm so good in my life right now. I work so hard to put myself in such a comfortable position. I have the energy to argue with Zesty Jeffries. Like I really do. And I have to do this because it's not just for me, it's for everybody. So we all can talk basketball. So when guys like guys like Philip Fry will only be eligible to be on shows like this. He will never pop out nowhere. That's what I'm starting to do. Guys
Look.
like Charles Chuck.
Hold on, Ajani.
They can't last in the real world. They'll last fine. And again, there's guys like you around who speak the game the way they want to hear it, right? Which again, you guys are entitled to all the way you talk the game. But again, like I always tell you, you gotta understand that basketball has expanded. The same way J.R. Smith is better than Steve Kerr, so is Rudy Gobert compared to Mr. Sabonis in the 90s. We all know today's we all know today's NBA is better, but like I said, just because J.R. Smith is better, that doesn't mean Klay Thompson's not better. Again, the comp is better across the board. These players are they're professionals now, and that was one thing that I
bro.
I go off on Lamont for that because if it wasn't for Kobe, we wouldn't have this type of players. The role models that were before Kobe were not good role models. They would have told you take your summer off. They would be drinking 6-packs in the locker room. They would be enjoying their lives, tricking all the time, being rich basketball players. Kobe was the real basketball player that said, even if I'm a superstar, I'm gonna work on my craft. 27. Every player after that saw Kobe doing that and realized, like, yo, I have to step up my game because if Kobe comes out here puts 50 on my neck, ain't nobody trying to give me no contract, bro. Ain't nobody trying to sign me up, and I'm out here. I gotta be on my game. Remember, Gilbert Arenas said that. He said that Michael Jordan was out here telling Kobe, "You would never fill my shoes." Then went out and spent 2 weeks drinking. Showed up in LA drunk. Kobe put 50 on him. Told him, go sit your old ass down at halftime. That's what you see what I'm saying?
Jordan was living his best for 6 years.
That's the old NBA. Today's NBA players are not like that. Today's NBA players are working on their game night in and night out. Even guys like J.R. Smith. So at the end of the day, you have way much more better quality basketball players in today's NBA because they're all competing for a roster spot. They're all competing for a contract. So that's the point. That's why today's NBA.
I got you. I will just say this. Bro, because I pull up to you guys all the time, and I'm happy one of you guys. And Lamont, you want to come up here and talk with me? And, I know Go Cast and this and the third. We could always have a conversation again. We get in the debate league going on. I want CW if you want to plug that, right? We trying to get a debate show going on again. Again, a lot of times,
look what they doing. They already said, yo, I'm flagging his channel after this. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that, Fry. Look, Fry is a big troll, bro. Philip Fry.
He's not lying. I'm telling y'all don't understand, bro. I've been put in Facebook jail for saying LeBron's the GOAT, bro. Imagine that.
That's crazy. See what I'm saying? And that's the thing. See, now, Fry's a big troll. Fry trolled me about the Knicks all the goddamn time, bro. Like, he's on my channel. And again, he saw me watch. He saw me do the live stream.
You know your Knicks are never going to win the championship, but he know the exposed out here.
See what I'm saying? Like, no. Somebody said I'm cursed. I said, madam, when your next the Knicks are cursed. I said, madam, when's your next tarot card reading? You believe in curses, motherfucker? The Knicks haven't won a championship because we haven't put together the right team and just fucking. But we will. One day we will. Trust me. Before I lay down in the dirt, I will go to a Knicks parade. You understand what I'm saying? But, bro, he gave me all the shit. But they saw when Carl Towns got that 20. They saw me on live stream, keep the faith, say, we were down by 16 in that fourth quarter. And Carl Anthony Towns, I said, bro, we've been here before. Carl Anthony Towns dropped 20 points in that fourth quarter. And they said, bro, you called it out. You said, Carl, just give me the 24 and 12. Carl Anthony Towns give me 24 and 13. He went from 4 and 4 to 24 and 13. And she said, you know what? I appreciate you. You rock with your squad, bro. You know what I'm saying? You rock with your squad. And again, I know
that's all Knicks fans, though. That's one thing I get.
Yeah, we are believers. And again, it really is no curses, none of that. The Knicks just gotta the Knicks just gotta put the hammer down. Grab that guy. We are one player away. We're probably the right coach. I really hope we hire Johnny Bryant because I would love to see a young black prospect, a young black coaching prospect get the opportunity. I think he's the guy. He's a big part of what Cleveland did, especially which worked in the regular season. We all know we talked about it earlier how the guys kind of fractured the locker room when they didn't suit up and all that. Again, but again, at the end of the day, bro, bro, this is I go up on y'all channel, y'all flame me in a cup. Juan Boy, bro. I had to block him on Facebook because Juan Boy said I don't want to.
Shout out
No,
to
no,
all
no.
the James Kingdom
Shout out
members.
to all of those J Kingdom members, bro. Bro, I appreciate y'all. Even Asante.
Yeah.
Asante hates me, bro. Asante came up, gave me a salute. Because again, bro, I pull up, and I'm not one of these guys that will just y'all drop the link, and I appreciate y'all drop the link, bro. Y'all drop the link, and I appreciate y'all for letting people
That's
come
the
up
point
here.
of Goat James Kingdom, bro. The point of Goat James Kingdom show was because on Facebook, Brandon and I were, like I said, we were known as the Braun guys, and we would post in all these different basketball
Yeah.
groups. Braun, and they all wanted to challenge us in the comments. And Brandon wanted to start a show, and Brandon needed somebody.
Right.
So he found me and he was like, yo, let's start a show. And I was like, word. He was like, we'll bring people up. And to be honest with you, we thought dudes were like gonna be like in line to do this. Cause I was like, the way they talk to us on the comments, you would think like they would love
Stay safe in the comments, bro.
but
Bro,
that's
this
what
is me and JB. Me and JB got to say, and we kind of JB is a Laker fan who's anti LeBron, never wanted him to come. And again, he got an opposite point of view, but he respects the game. Look, we don't hate LeBron. People ask me why do I hate LeBron? I don't hate LeBron. I hate molest. I hate jesters.
You do.
I
You
hate no.
I don't like LeBron.
No. See, dislike and hate. And I want you to understand, dislike and hate is I hate people who affect people's lives. I dislike the rhetoric.
Dislike and hate are two different things. I agree with you. Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So again, haters, right? Like that's a no Diddy. Didn't Diddy make the term haters a popular term? Play haters, right? So we not are we supposed to be getting rid of Diddy lingo? You know?
Yeah. Hey, y'all better get rid of Diddy lingo. Y'all don't want to.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, C-Dub, check this out, C-Dub. I'm telling you, tomorrow after we dropping the video tomorrow. I'm telling you, we should drop in the video. We just dropping something because
no doubt.
This is the most entertaining ever, bro. For all of the stuff that happens with this GOAT debate, for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant's name to be brought up in the Diddy trials is hilarious. We are rolling over, bro. This is
I knew that was coming when I heard that, so I knew it was.
Y'all knew it. Y'all was. I'm telling you, can anybody go to the Dominican Republic and find a ticket, pull him out of his beach hole, and to see where he can do a live stream on this?
Wow, bro.
Yo, can you imagine what Ticket's gonna twist? How he's trying to twist this?
I'm trying to. Yeah. Look, I haven't watched Ticket in a while. I'm a fan of Ticket, but I haven't watched it in a while. I kind of branched off in it. I love my sports, so I love debate. I want y'all to pull up, man. And again, you know me, I pull up. I don't have a problem playing away games.
Kobe.
Y'all are funny, man. Y'all are funny. But C-Dub, you want to plug the debate channel?
Yeah, real quick. We trying to do some debates this summer, so anybody that wants to join in, it doesn't matter. We can do concepts, player versus player, team versus team. We just trying to do something different since the news cycle gonna be kind of slow. Other than free agency, we just want to do something where we keep the content flowing. So let me know.
About this. And I'll say this: sports is competitive by nature. So us talking sports, we're competing with each other. You know what I'm saying? When we talk and debate we're competing. Because again, I come out I play the game, I talk the game competitively. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what it is: competitive banter. ESPN, man, a whole first take, all of that. That's what it was: competitive banter. You take one side, I take one side. Who got the better argument? And that's it. And let's do it like that. And so if you want to drop the video if you got it.
Let me find that real quick.
Hilarious. That man said you a weak troll, man. I do keep it to hoops, man. Don't get mad because Puff Daddy girlfriend out here wearing Kobe jerseys and freak offs.
Wow. Hold on. Wow with that one.
How how many all defense?
That's a
And he
media
came into
driven
the league
award.
at 18. So you.
So even if Kobe checked the box of like tougher competition, he doesn't win in Finals MVPs. He doesn't win MVPs. He doesn't win in All NBA selections. He doesn't win in stats. He doesn't win in everything else.
But see, a lot of that is there's a guy who's not in
Those
Steph Curry's
matter.
league. Hold on, but there are guys who are not Steph Curry's league who have 2 Finals MVPs.
Listen, would Kareem be top 3 if he didn't have 6 Finals MVPs?
Okay, here's a good one.
Or 6 MVPs? Really?
Yeah.
I sound like one because I use your logic in a fight, and then you don't see the parallels. Because that makes you an idiot, not me.
Questions before you answer questions. That's whack, man. You're whack, dude. You ask leading questions like
big.
From Ray Allen, yeah. Okay.
On a very small.
So you can't play the he was old card.
He did not impact the Miami Heat team like Dennis Rodman impacted that Bulls team. Like, let's not go that far.
He impacted in that 2013 finals.
In that one moment, yes.
Damn, C-Dub, you look like Suge Knight, boy. I ain't finna talk to you like that, boy. I don't want no smoke with you, brother.
Yo, C-Dub was 6'7". I didn't even know. Suge Knight was. I mean, C-Dub was a power forward, bro.
I don't want no smoke with you, brother. Boy, your neck is humongous, but I'm pause. I'm good, brother. Peace and blessings, brother. Peace and blessings, man. I'm definitely gonna sub to the. I think we already subbed to your channel, Cocat. To be honest with you, but if not, I'm gonna make sure we in there. And again, both of you gentlemen have the accessibility to come to Goat James Kingdom on Facebook. We have 100. We have.
I don't know what's going on.
Damn, yeah, that's Ro wife letting them know you out here messing with these LeBron fans. You should be.
I told you I'm at the family reunion, man. So you know.
All right, well, put yourself on mute so I can let y'all to say this in peace. Listen, you guys are more than welcome to come to Goat James Kingdom on our Facebook group. You guys know we have 120,000 followers. It's a global group. You can post your YouTube posts, whatever you want on there. Promote your stuff and get things out there. You'll find LeBron James fans, Jordan fans. Like, we have everything in Goat James Kingdom. So you guys are more than welcome. So just give me.
I'll pull up. Yeah, I think I don't know if I'm already because I think I've seen the group on Facebook, so I think I've already joined. I'm gonna join when I get off of here now.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to. It's free, like I always tell people.
Yeah, I'm already in there. You know, I'm already going at it with the.
I just found out who King Ro is in real life. I'm like, oh, this guy King Ro. It's the Goat Cast, right? Let me see the Goat Cast.
Yeah.
It's not pulling you up; it's pulling up somebody else.
Yeah, it's 2 channels, right?
Yeah, might have to put.
I gotta put the Goat. I gotta put the Goat Cast podcast.
Okay.
I gotta make sure I put it together too. It's one word. Okay. Yeah, because with YouTube, boy,
what up, bro?
That's why when people were like, why would you name your channel Goat James Kingdom? Nobody else's name Goat James Kingdom.
Yeah, I tried. I didn't think there'd be many Goat Casts, but I see there's a bunch of them.
All right, I see. I see a Goat Cast podcast YouTube. YT.
Yeah, YT. Yeah.
That's all right. So yeah, we just sub to you then. Okay, I see. And where did y'all find that picture of me? Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, I found that. I googled it, and yeah. So
what that picture is on Google of me, the one that y'all got on this thumbnail for today's show.
So yeah, that's where I pulled it from.
Get out of here! Somebody, I gotta go Google me. What did you type in? What is going on?
I typed in your name. I typed in Ajani Goat James Kingdom.
Oh my God! Let me go see what people out here doing about me. Damn, that's fun. Oh, this is great. See, finally we got some Zesty Jeffries out here doing some real work.
That's why I'm gonna debate you one day without your mute button. You know, that's your equalizer. Because, bro, I'll be cooking you.
No, bro, you see how respectful I am. Now that you see how,
yeah, no doubt, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's all in fun, man. I never take none of it personal.
Yeah, I'm providing you show etiquette, right? I'm your guest, right?
No doubt.
I speak when I'm allowed to speak. All right. I didn't get to say everything. I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say tonight, but it's fine. This is your podcast. This is your show, and you gave me an opportunity to speak. And I said,
we had hours worth more, but yeah, brother. Again, a brother been up since 3 a.m, man. Long flight, long day. Ain't get no nap. Kids running around all over. It's a good time though. It's celebration, man. Summer's coming. It's all good.
Yeah, but just a shout out, Go James Kingdom. Shout out FYF Sports. Y'all check them out.
No doubt.
Like,
fuck Lamar.
Subscribe, man. You're same over here, man. You see, over here we have good conversations, bro. So
hey, I don't see that picture, bro. Like, anyway, shout out to having that picture. That's a cool picture of me. I was like, that's a cool picture of me. Shout out to y'all for wherever y'all found that.
I think I got it from one of your thumbnails, and I just put it in ChatGPT.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was gonna. Because the funny thing is that I don't even know where that's from. Because I do be messing with the AI, putting myself in the AI all the time. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, I don't even have that picture. So I'm like, where the hell is that from? So I don't know. But either way, it's a dope picture, dope stream. Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah,
like I said. Well, yeah, we'll definitely put up y'all, man. Peace and blessings to y'all.
Down.
All right,
safe in the comments.
Okay.
All right. Well, we gonna close down for tonight.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it, Charles. As usual, catch us. I'm gonna have a show Thursday. I think we might do a live react. Well, the game is on Thursday, right? Yeah. So we might do a live react on second half or something of the game. Yeah. But I will be, we'll definitely come on Thursday. Hopefully, my man JB will be able to join. And look, like I said, I had a whole bunch of things that I wanted to say, but I wrote nothing down, and we had a good conversation, man. Look, Ajani's crazy. I still think he's crazy, bro. But he's a good content creator, and that's why I appreciate him coming up. I really appreciate the opportunity to have this. And again, man, bro, I'm sure we all trying to eat in the streets. We trying to, again, this is fun, man. Whatever it comes out of it, we talk hoops, and I appreciate you guys for showing up. This was a fun conversation, bro. Right?
Yeah, it didn't get too crazy. I thought it might get a little crazy, but it didn't get too crazy.
It get crazy, right? Like I said, the clubs was off. We was just having all this conversation. We gonna have a debate, and I'm all of the craziness, bro. He went crazy. But we're gonna have a debate. We're gonna call him out. We're gonna actually have him, prove and prove to an audience some of the crazy things he said is actually, but yeah. So, fellas, have a good night, man. I appreciate y'all. Good stream.
Oh, the excellent stream. Yeah, we'll be on me, Big Nige, and I think Ron will be on tomorrow. I'm not sure what we're talking about, but we'll be on. Of course, you'll be on Thursday. So
no doubt.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Good night.
All right.